What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to HP Live. It's been a big day. It's been a big yesterday. It's been a big
yesterday.
It's been a very stressful week. The teraleak part 2, it's here. And the energy's a little bit different. I would actually encourage you to ignore how awesome, exciting, and motivating and inspiring our theme music is right now, because the mood is actually a little bit conflicted. Basically, the teraleak is out. A ton of new information. So last year there was a big data breach of GameFreak. We learned about 20 years of cut content. Like we had access to all these planning docs, and in Legends ZA comes out in 2 days, and another massive drop. There's so much information flooding over the internet about all this information, not in the past, but GameFreak's plans for the next 10 years, right? 5, 6 different conceptual Pokemon games that are, we're going to talk about this today, whether it's credible or not, or whether it's going to come to fruition or not, but there's so much information. It's a little bit numbing, and we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how we feel about it, and we're also going to talk about each of these things each of these titles that we've now got more information about. It's honestly just mind-blowing. So let's get into it. My name's DustyGogoat. I'm also joined by TraderLumi.
Hello.
And SoulSilverArt.
What's up?
I don't know how to feel. I really don't. We got off our stream yesterday after like 4 hours. I made some lunch, and so much information had started funneling into just onto social media, but also into my DMs, and I was scrambling to get work done. And I had this looming feeling of, I don't even know what the feeling was. It was like it was overwhelm, but it was also like, I don't want to say shame because I didn't do anything, but maybe disgust. I do think I feel kind of like gross. I do think I feel gross at how much information has poured out. Have I given enough context without spoiling anything? I guess there's information about new Legends games. There's information about Generation 10. There's information about Generation 11. There's information about new styles of games that are multi-region. Never mind. I mean, that's just the high-level thing, and I think that's going to help us guide our conversation today. But there's also, like, new Pokemon that have, like, new Pokemon designs that have come out. Potentially for games that are going to release in the next 2 years. There is gameplay footage. There is new Pokemon models. There are so many crazy things that is like exciting, but again a little overwhelming. And also I think because this is all future content, or at least content that is at one point planned for future content, it feels a little yucky. It does.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys want to jump in and give some thoughts to start.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. Like, I feel the same way a lot about it. It's like, it's very weird for us because we cover leaks and we like leaks, but something happened with the teraleak that is something that I don't think any of the three of us enjoy, or like we like the old beta cut stuff like a lot, right? We like knowing the ins and outs after the fact, right? Like, I feel like Game Freak should officially release some stuff like that. I'm always pro like them releasing things themselves, but they never do, so that's an issue with me personally. But I think that the problem is the teraleak is we covered leaks before the teraleak, and that is fun stuff. It was riddles. It was, a obscure image here and there. You can like see it and like speculate on it.
I think also just leaks in general. I think what is so much fun, it's not even about riddles, but I think for me, and I think just as a baseline, what a leak can do is it can give you a starting point to speculate, right? When you think about Generation 11, whenever I've uttered that in a video, it sounds hilarious because you're like, well, there's no point of reference. But if you say Generation 11, new gameplay style and region, but there's no details, now you can let your mind spin. You can create all these, can create all this connective tissue that in your mind will help you kind of flesh out a game, right, in anticipation for the actual product. So that's, to me, what I think is exciting about a leak, right? Like you get,
Right, and
you hear new Meowth form, you go, oh, then what is it going to be? You know,
you still get that in this too, because so far nothing like crazy. I mean, yes and no, but I don't know. It's just like nothing detailed has very much leaked at this point. But it is still. I just want to say, like, there is a line that has been crossed with the teraleak, essentially. Like, just so much, even with ZA. Like, this entire year of leaks has been not, for me personally, I have not enjoyed a lot of it. I've been like, I've been actively trying to not get this stuff to come out. And so, like, that's where I'm at. Like, behind the scenes, people don't understand what happens, but I've been like, don't do this. Stop this. We don't need to do this. And like, I really, with Gen 10, I was like, bro, I don't want that to ever leak. But it was kind of naive of me to think that it wouldn't because of the teraleak. Like, the teraleak on it being out there is like literally, it's all going to come out eventually.
I didn't think this much
that's that
information had been, I guess, acquired.
Yeah.
So
They
were in there for
Terabyte,
4 weeks, maybe even more. I don't know if you guys saw that Centro did an interview with the teraleak hacker, and he posted it for like 10 minutes last night. It was like,
what do you mean?
13 questions. I don't know if he did it himself,
was it
but
written?
they didn't. Yeah, written interview.
Okay.
And it was so long.
So
But,
okay,
you
yeah.
know,
Let me set this up for listeners. So last year, basically, data breach of GameFreak, a terabyte of information was stolen, and then because so many things were released, I think we all assumed that was the majority of it. Like, maybe we had already seen 90% of what was in it. And within that was a bunch of old beta Pokemon, which is so cool. Like,
that's the coolest thing.
As a fan of the franchise, it's like historical documentation. It's like, oh, cool, this thing that I like used to look like this. Oh, it also could have looked like this. Oh, it was connected to this Pokemon, like that. All the beta Pokemon was so much fun. Even a lot of the planning concepts. I really think it's like so fascinating to see, like, the planning docs, right? To see, like,
for sure,
one of the developers or one of the artists or one of the directors write down their pitch for a game, or to write down, to see concept art, right? It's like you're just able to see more content, or not content, but like more context for what could have been, or at least was imagined by the author. And I don't know, it's fun. It's fun to think about. So we also learned about in the, like, last year, obviously, all the leaks from Legends EA was from the teraleak. And also the limited information that we had about Generation 10, which really wasn't much. And it's kind of hilarious that this new leak, or whatever, the new release of all this information from the teraleak, actually contradicted what everyone was saying about Generation 10 over the last year, which is kind of funny. So that was the majority of it, and it was so much fun because it was like, it just felt like little Easter eggs, little fun things that, like, we weren't supposed to know, but like can enhance our appreciation for the games that we already love. And what has happened in just the last day is now there is planning documents for like the next 10 years of video games, which seems hilarious. Like, that's always something that I do. That's like a format. Yeah, man. But that's like what I do as not as a joke, but as like a fun exercise to be like, what's the next 10 years of games? I literally just uploaded this morning a video. It's like 50 minutes with Lore Keeper Toby on my channel, DustyGogoat, literally predicting, this was us 2 weeks ago, predicting what the next 10 years of games are going to be. And I rushed to get that video out because the teraleak and all the new information we learned about yesterday might, make some of it a little irrelevant. I think it's still a great conversation, and this is an official advertisement for that video. Go check that out. The link to my channel is in the description, and that's going to be the top video. I'm really excited about that. But yeah, I don't know. It's like, at this point, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to know any of this information. What do you think, Lumi? You haven't said anything.
I haven't said anything because, to be honest, I don't think I've fully processed where I'm at, but I do think that I have one big thought that I know I'm at on this, and that's that I do think a lot of people are putting a lot more stake on this than I would, to be honest.
I was gonna say that eventually as well, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, like, for example, and, you know, Soul, jump in at any point, or Dusty, if you know, jump in at any point if I'm saying something wrong here. But I believe everything that has leaked, other than, like, the beta stuff, because there's beta stuff for Scarlet and Violet leaking and beta stuff for Sword and Shield leaking. But all this stuff about Gen 10, all this stuff about, you know, the other games that are going to be happening in Gen 10, they are proposals, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the thing about that is, since they're proposals, you know, we kind of touched on this yesterday, but sometimes, guys, like, we run this channel and we plan videos. Like, we'll sit down and we'll say, these are our videos for the next 2 months. And it might start with, you know, me going, hey, what if we did a video on this? A great example is our gym leaders video. We actually did a video where we ranked all the Kalos gym leaders, and the proposal was a gym leaders ranking video, and it gradually became a Kalos gym leaders ranking video, and we can do other ones down the line, because ranking, you know, like 40 plus gym leaders in one, you know, so I'm just saying, like, a proposal can change. And then there's also sometimes that there's a proposal that, you know, one of us makes and the other two go, that's a horrible idea.
Yeah.
And the other person's like, yeah, that's true. And then we don't do it, you know?
Or Lumi does it on his channel, or I'll do it on my channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that I think some of these are in development, though, because we did get the development cycles of some of it. So, like, you know, like, it'll say the development. I don't know if you saw the graphs, but there's like a graph of like when it's supposed to release and all that. So they are like they've been chosen to be made, and some of them are in development. I don't know how much they're in development. Like, we've seen concept arts. I mean, once we get into each individual game, I can go more into detail with which ones are more in development than others. But
yeah,
so like,
I think
it is more than a proposal, I'd say, for some of them.
Yeah, another detail is that, like,
almost like halfway done, more than halfway done. So
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Just I wanted to add, like, you know, this information was also gathered, like, and stolen over a year ago, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, not
Very
only do we
true.
have a year and a half of, like, time in between then for when, you know, for things to change, but also going forward, things can continue to change.
Absolutely.
I think it gets a little spooky when we talk about the next year or two, because you're like, okay, well, that stuff's in develop. Like, it's probably happening. Not everything that we've seen that is going to be in these games will happen, and that can all shift, but the concepts are pretty solid, right?
Yeah. I would say even, like, the teraleak proves it itself. Like, the whole point of the whole thing is how much is cut and changed. Like, there's so much that is cut and changed, and, you know, like you just said, it's a year ago. So, like, anything could have changed in the year. Like, could have been like, you know what, this isn't a good idea anymore, and that stuff from that, we're not going to do it. So.
A great example of that is, you know, two of the things that I imagine we'll touch on is that Sudachi, I believe, is the code name for the Scarlet and Violet DLC. And obviously in that DLC, we went to this place called Kitakami, and then the second part, we went to the Blueberry Academy, which is in the Unova region. But we've actually learned from this information that's come out that, at proposal at least, it was proposed that we would go to Kalos and Alola,
you're just getting
and then
into
a
it.
little bit later, they were even going to possibly add more DLC where we go to more places. The Legends ZA, this is the biggest one. Legends ZA, when they proposed a second Legends game, they said Legends Johto. And so, you know, because we do know our third Legends game, supposedly, we do see the proposal for a third Legends game. If that was proposed, like, around the same time as this, well, they clearly pivoted from Johto, and they clearly went to Kalos.
Yeah.
Who's to say they don't go? In fact, it would make sense to me that they go, okay, well, you know what? Since we're not doing that Johto game right now, let's do that as our third Legends game. You know, so I'm just saying, like, we are literally seeing present day evidence of some of these things changing in big ways. Big ways. I mean, we went from Legends Ho-Oh and Lugia is what they're called, to Legends ZA set entirely in Lumia City. Those are two wildly different games.
Massive change. But on
Seriously.
that topic, just while we're here on that topic, so the opposite side of this whole leak is, like, I'm, like, almost depressed about it, but at the same time I'm excited because of things. Like, I'm a Pokemon fan, so, like, I'm instantly excited about things. Either way, I was gonna say, remember the freaking, like, Johto plushies in that one Pokemon Presents or whatever. Like there's been hints to Johto for so long, and it was in the time frame of this when they would have put out a Legends Johto. It's actually crazy when you think about it, because like they were kind of teasing it, and then it didn't happen. And then even I think the reason that we have Meganium and Feraligatr in Legends ZA
it seems
is
like
probably
those are
because they were
ideas.
Johto. Yeah, they were Johto ideas, and even Dudunsparce for Farigiraf. Like the amount of Johto stuff we got in Scarlet and Violet makes me think
Arceus too.
It makes me think like they were gonna do something for Johto. Like all of this was gonna be in a Legends Johto game.
3 years ago, we spoke to Hoops and Hip Hop, and there's a clip that we always post where he's relating. I think it's the theme music of Kabupoko. Is that a real place?
It's something like that. I don't know if that's
Cabo.
I think
Cabo Poku, but
I think it's Cabo
the
Poco.
first area in Scarlet.
Yeah, the first area in Scarlet and Violet,
Cabo
literally,
Poco?
it uses
That's
the
gonna drive me
same
nuts.
musical cues as one of I think it's
insane, actually.
Newbark City or Newbark Town in Johto, and Hoops nailed that, and I'm like, damn, that's just the out of the iceberg that is a hint. You know what I was thinking yesterday? It's just like the two things that were predicted were Johto remakes and DLC and Kalos, and I actually feel so vindicated, right? I feel so
absolutely.
I feel like I don't feel like I'm insane anymore. I'm like, we were all correct. We were all correct. Yeah. They just pivoted, which is fine. Another thing that I realized, and this is, listen, I'm trying to shoot some shots right now. Another thing I realized,
you should be double, triple vindicated, by the way.
Another thing I noticed, there is no mention of a Gen 5 remake. So I never want to hear. I never want to hear ever again that Gen 5 remakes were planned. People got it wrong. That's what it was. People got it wrong. They were given the wrong information. That's it.
Yeah.
Where else? Where it would be in this?
You can make an argument otherwise, but I don't know if we want to turn that.
It would be in this. It would be in this. It never existed.
I'm asking here. I'm not remotely arguing because I think I am with you, Dusty, but I am asking if hypothetically it were, because for example, when we got the Legends Arceus notes, which was last year when the first teraleak dropped, they actually mentioned in there they're not going to do Senna remakes.
Okay.
And we obviously got them, and they were, by a third party. So hypothetically,
sure.
again, I'm
third
asking,
party.
I'm not arguing.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
If it's
a
third party
that's
black
fair.
and white remake, would it be in this?
That's fair. That is fair.
That's my main point. That's my main point, because everything that we ever heard about it was that it was completely developed outside of GameFreak. Like they were just overseeing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge part of it. Like they probably didn't. It wouldn't be in here, first of all. But second of all, I think if they decided to scrap it or move it or whatever, they probably were like, let's just make it, because the original Scarlet and Violet DLC was not going to be in Unova. So they probably were like, you know what, we're going to do Unova for this and just forget about any black-white remake.
Yeah.
I think it's possible that it could be something like that.
Yeah,
but it wasn't in that much development, that's for sure, because they would have like seen it or something.
The thing that interested me about it though is like, while again, like while I made not even the argument, but the wonderment of what would it be, would it even be in here if it's not made by GameFreak? But like to counter that though, obviously if it was happening, I feel like GameFreak would make space for it, and the timeline looks pretty stacked. So I do kind of wonder like where that was supposed to fall in.
That's what I mean. Is like it definitely was not in like crazy development or planning even. Like they probably were like talking about it, and that got wind to some leakers, and then they were like, you know what, we're not going to do this, and it just blew up out of proportion because things do. And I agree with Dusty, sources can be bad. I think if we're talking about Ku's source on this and his recent sources,
I don't want to delve into it, but yeah,
no, we don't need to go into it, but his recent sources on like the marketing of ZA have been pretty poor. But then again, my guy knew the region and nobody else did. Nobody else knew that it was Indonesia. He's the one. All right, spoiler.
What?
Sorry, spoiler.
Wait. Who knew that?
Gen 10.
Yeah, Gen 10 stuff.
Who knew that?
Nobody else. Cool.
No, he didn't.
But
or we'd be talking about it. No, he didn't.
He did talk about it. He posted about it before Centro did yesterday.
When?
But anyway,
yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably because he learned about it like a day before.
He didn't.
He
I
did
promise.
not know, dude. He did not
posted
know.
them way before.
No, dude.
He posted it way before.
Well, let's not. Let's
What do
not
you mean
turn
way
this
before?
into
Like
another
hours
coup
before?
debate.
My point is, not
Dude.
everything is right and not everything is wrong.
Listen,
that's just how it is.
Who's a human
With
being,
leaks-
whatever,
with
but
leaks-
like who did not know? I'm not going to sit here right now and hear anyone say that they knew Indonesia was a thing a year ago.
He 100% did.
No, he
You
didn't.
Look
dude.
at it.
Did he tell you? Did he tell you that?
I'm not going to
Because he's a liar.
divulge that information.
He's a liar. Because if I know anything about Koo, he is a narcissist, and he
don't know.
he can never be wrong. So just say, Centro can't either.
What?
But I'm just saying.
Well, either way, about the TeraLeak.
No one knew
I,
Indonesia. No one knew
I-
that, dude. No one knew that. If someone says
I
they knew
will just
Indonesia,
keep my
then they
mouth
should have said it
closed
a
on
year
this
ago.
topic.
No one knew Indonesia, or they would have said something.
All I have to say is go back and
No
watch
one
our
knew it.
video. Go back and watch our video about what Gen 10 Pokemon we want to see. Every single one of them that I picked is for you guys, for the squad. But
oh,
so
you're saying
And
they
to
they
be clear on that, because
I don't know what he
I
means.
think, correct me if I'm wrong, Soul. You're saying you picked like Indonesian-based Pokemon because you figured Koo was hinting at that from the beginning.
we'll leave it there. Yeah, there's things that happen in the background of the whole world here that we see, and it's like we said at the beginning, like I don't like to leak things, even if I have information here and there. I'm not a person that's like, oh yeah, I want to leak everything, and that's not me. So yeah, it's a mix of stuff.
no one knew it was Indonesia.
Who's got some credibility?
No one knew it was Indonesia. I'm the only one who said it wasn't Greece, but I did not know it was Indonesia. No one knew it was Indonesia. No, ridiculous. We're backtracking here. All right, let's get back. Okay,
I have on the TeraLeak, like to get us back into swing, because this.
I mean, this is a
think
part of it,
kind
but we should
ties
say
into it, to
big
be
spoilers,
honest.
guys. We're going into like big spoiler territory. Okay, we already just dropped
Well,
something.
but before
huge.
I even do that, I have a question that like maybe you guys or someone in the comments has more insight into. So way back when Tears of the Kingdom came out, the Zelda game, that was 2 years ago, 2023. It leaked early in a I think it was a Discord server. I think someone was playing the game in a Discord server. Nintendo ended up doing a subpoena on that Discord server to reveal who streamed Legend of Zelda in there, who leaked their game. I am wondering why has Nintendo, because correct me if I'm wrong, the TeraLeaker, GameFreak out was like his little username. He leaked this information starting in a Discord server. Why has this is one of the biggest leaks of all time. In any I cannot think of a similar thing happening to another company in recent years. I'm sure it has, but I can't think of it. And it seems Nintendo is taking no legal action. And I'm really curious, what are they doing to pursue this guy? Because surely they gotta be.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know
what's
man.
hilarious about that is, I mean, I think I mentioned it yesterday. Oops. I mentioned it yesterday. Like, they had a year to get this guy, like a whole entire year, and my guy just drops a whole other TeraLeak. But on that note, I also saw somebody tweeted today. Kaka from the Scarlet and Violet
Of course.
leaks? His
Yeah.
account on Twitter is still active. Like, it's
Is it?
still there.
What?
Yeah, and people are like. They still haven't got this guy. I mean, he doesn't say anything, but his account is existing. You know what I
Still
mean?
up. That's funny.
I don't know.
Damn.
But
It's weird how they choose to their target. You know what I mean? Because there are people who are their videos getting taken down on YouTube. Their posts are getting taken down, stuff like that. But then the kind of the guy who actually stole a terabyte worth of information still at large, and there seems to be now. I would assume, I'll preface this all by saying I assume that they're doing things behind the scenes, and probably they're taking their time with it because they want to make sure they get them right. And so you got to be very carefully, because when you're in a legal situation, the smallest misstep can throw your whole case. Can throw your whole, especially if they're having to find the guy and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
So we're gonna, if you're just joining us right now, we're talking about the TeraLeak. We're gonna be reviewing, just kind of reviewing the overview of the timeline that is, I guess at the time of this at the time of the acquirement of the stolen information, we're going to be going over the timeline that is currently proposed to take place, like all the next 5 to 10 years of Pokemon games. We're going to be reviewing that. I do want to read some off of these super chats. Before I say that, though, I do just want everyone to be aware. You're going to see every single person online right now magically become experts in Indonesia. So just prepare for that. Bro. I think it's great. I am all of a sudden curious, and after getting off a trip, I'm like, maybe I do care about world history. Maybe I do want to learn more about like places that are outside of, New England or whatever, right? But I think that's funny. We're all gonna be we're all gonna be on the Wikipedia page being like, look at this. This is this. That's gonna happen. That's gonna be the new starter. And I'm not saying that's bad. Right. That is super fun. I'm just saying, you're gonna see everyone become experts overnight.
100%, bro. The fake leaks every single time that said Greece. I'm just saying this because you guys are my people, right? The people here in this chat, like we're just hanging out. But like, that it was like every time, and the one that said Greece and Indonesia, made me scratch my head. I was like, what is this really? But I don't. It's crazy.
I wonder if it was like
Soul. You just said you knew about Indonesia behind the scenes, or you didn't say that. You actually did not confirm that, but that is.
I did not confirm.
That is what I just interpreted you to say. But you're saying you were confused that Indonesia was being suggested.
No, I was confused that they were being suggested together. But no, who knows? I don't know anything at all. Let's go.
Come on, man.
Let's go.
Come on.
It kind of what are we doing? Because if you just look at like the base of the game, like you look at the general outline, it kind of does look like Greece, right? Like, a cluster of islands that lines up for sure. And then there's the fact that if you look in the we've pointed to this so many times. If you look in the Scarlet and Violet protagonist house, there's a photo on the wall. You can click that photo and it'll be like, oh, it's a photo of another region.
That photo was nothing.
Well, and what's interesting too, not only does that photo exist, but then they even went and put it in the background of some random character's house in that Dragonite Postman story that they released on Pokemon Day this past year. So, it's like, what's the significance of this photo? And it looked very much like Santorini in Greece. And so when you couple that with it.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. That feels like hard evidence.
Well, and not only that, but also, because we've known for a bit, like, from the little bit of Gen 10 stuff we got last year when the TeraLeak first happened, we know that the legendaries or the games rather seem to focus somehow to some extent on like wind and waves and weather. Those names were speculated for a while, wind and waves for the game, and that fits really well with Greek mythology, with two of the biggest gods in Greek mythology being Zeus, who's like thunder and storms and stuff, and Poseidon being waves, tsunamis. So it really, when you look at the base outline, it looks like Greece,
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
There's nothing wrong with, predicting, or there's nothing wrong with like speculating on it.
100%. That's why, I don't want to get into this, but I love speculation. I love letting people speculate. I don't want this to be you should just move on. But I just love that, and so
I love that too. It's fun.
Telling people, it's actually on topic, because there's no point in telling people everything that's going to happen. Then there's no speculation, and it's just like. But
we also don't know everything. Like I guess you're.
No, and we don't. That's 100% true.
Listen,
we don't know everything.
Listen, we're friends. I'm just being. Yeah. I'm just trying to brainstorm this with you right now. But like, when we do, like, I hear what you're saying. Sometimes people whisper things to you. People whisper things to Lumi. People whisper things to me. We don't always bring it up. It's fine. People whisper. I don't know if it's real. I also don't even know if I want to believe it's real. But
yeah, true.
But what you're saying, Soul, is that I guess I'm just focusing in on this Indonesia thing because we have covered for a whole year all this Greece stuff, and I feel like anytime I said it wasn't going to be Greece, I don't know. I just feel like you've been pretty certain that it's going to be Greece, and now you're saying you knew it was Indonesia, and that just sounds kind of hilarious.
I wanted you to be vindicated,
dude. That's like insulting. That's like insulting, dude. I don't even believe you. I don't even believe you. I don't even believe you, man. There's
That's
no
fine.
dude. You did not know it was Indonesia. You did not know that. We covered that rumor.
I didn't.
Whatever. It's all. It's.
You're right. I don't know that. I didn't know that.
I don't know. I don't know. That just seems a little silly.
Yeah. It's good.
Julian and Mr. Dolphin just became legendary tier members. Thank you guys for supporting the podcast. If you, I'm not sure what encouraged you to join, but we do have a new episode of Secret Power. That's our weekly bonus podcast that comes out every single week. We've been publishing those on Mondays. Those are out right now for members on Patreon and on YouTube. And when you get finished with that, we got an episode from last week, and an episode from the week before, and an episode from the week before, and an episode from the week before. So thank you for supporting Julian and Mr. Dolphin. We also have, here's a super chat by SoulAnt64. Thoughts on remakes being discontinued for now? Looks like Gen 5 remake is coming around Switch 3. Chikorita Mega Supremacy. Can't wait for ZA content. I guess Lumi did say this earlier. And yeah, Soul was saying this, like, the remakes could really just be relegated to Pokemon Works. Could be relegated to a non-GameFreak company, right? So like a classic cookie cutter faithful remake, that could be very real. Like that we could be seeing those. They just might not be from GameFreak, which I'm fine with. I mean, if we're getting more Legends games just from I want GameFreak to be doing stuff that's like at the heart of Pokemon lore, and I want them to be like creating new experiences. That's what I want, right?
Yeah.
100%.
And also too, like, it kind of like Soul suggested maybe this project was like not far into development, and I think that's kind of where I'm leaning with it, because if you think about it, we're Pokemon fans. What do we do most that always ends up disappointing us? We look at patterns, and everybody was saying the next remake has to be after Scarlet and Violet. They're like, the next game has to be Johto or Unova. Obviously they went Kalos, so that was, but they know that
insane
too.
still.
And that's why we see that they at one point were considering Legends Johto. And not only that, but it makes sense that if the other game that is quote unquote due next is a Unova game, then it makes sense that they would at least consider it. They would at least go, are we doing Unova next? Like, they'd at least ask the question. No different than how, like, when we were going through our tier list and doing it, at some point, like, one of us would send in the group chat, should we do the Gen 3 tier list this week? Should we do the Gen 5 tier? Like, we'd always, say, like, when are we doing this next tier list? Like, like, hey, it's expected from the audience. We want to do it at some point. Yeah. Should we go ahead and do it? Like, when do y'all want to do it? So I think
that is a really good point.
I can very much see that.
I like that. I like that way the way you're describing it there, because I guess, like, yeah, that makes sense. It's like you might not get that video in a standard format, but it might show up in a live stream. It might show up in Secret Power. It might show up just in another format. Or it just gets scrapped entirely or transformed. That is a good way, I think, to kind of like illustrate it.
I try to relate it to like I try to put things in like from my perspective as best I can, and honestly, this show helps with that, because all my analogies, I'm like, well, I'm thinking about when we plan a video, thinking about when we're scheduling something, thinking about
It's smart.
Yeah,
smart way to look at it.
But and it makes sense that too that information could easily trickle down, right? Like somebody says, like, yeah, I heard GameFreak was talking about a Unova remake today, and I tell that to Soul, and then Soul lets Dusty know, yeah, GameFreak has been talking about a Unova remake, and then Dusty lets his friend know GameFreak's doing a Unova. Like, it's a telephone game, right?
Yeah.
So eventually someone's going Unova remakes,
and then GameFreak's like, watch it, switch it up.
Yeah. GameFreak's like, no, Legends Kalos.
The remix, baby. Yeah,
exactly.
With the hood, that really worked.
Yeah, this is for alligator stands out here.
Nice.
Today.
Oh yeah,
Here.
I need what would Meganium do? Here.
Be beautiful, probably.
Be beautiful.
He's leaving to hear me call him beautiful.
He's gone.
He didn't get to hear me call him beautiful. He still doesn't know. He still doesn't know.
Good?
He'll never know.
Is this good? Can I just like stand here like this for the rest of the episode? I got flowers on my neck right now.
It might not work for you, but it works for us.
You need like a bunch of like lays, like the Hawaiian lays.
Oh, that would have been
chips.
Yo, Halloween ideas are coming to mind.
No. I already told y'all. I got mine unlocked. I got it.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking around. I don't see anything. All right,
you gotta have more plants in your basement, man. Classic DustyGogoat
Yeah,
was
I
sat
know.
in this room with all these plants around.
There was
him,
there was
man.
a giant
That was
window
such-
right in front of me, and then so
I
I had
miss
all
the
my
such a
old
plants
good-
behind me.
Dusty.
That was
I
a
know. I've
really
been
good
in a
aesthetic,
basement
bro.
for the last 2 years, 3 years.
That was a good
I've been
aesthetic.
trapped in your basement for the last 9-10 years.
Inside jokes.
Wait,
people.
that doesn't make sense because you have plants in your room and they can't grow in my basement.
Buddy, I'm about to break it to all of y'all. All those plants are fake.
No. All right. T has sent us a super chat. They say, "Fellas, get to watch. I get to watch at my new job for a little bit. If Wind in Waves is real, what do you guys want to see from it?" We will get into that in a little bit once we actually tackle it. T, hope you're still watching. Hope you're still listening. Hope you're having a great day at work. Congrats on the new
Appreciate
job.
support, man.
Yes, appreciate the support. You guys have really been showing up. What a fun
Yes.
week it's been. Really good.
Crazy.
Good week.
Yeah.
We got Karmic Binding here with another super chat. They were supporting yesterday as well. Heard there was a new leak type Pokemon type. Oh wow! So what Pokemon would have the leak type? Farfetch'd. And then there's certain
That took me a minute.
and then there's certain water type Pokemon that I feel like would be like leaking out. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe Delmise. Like Delmise is a
Could
ship.
Cubchoo get it? Because like it's
Yes!
got like snot leaking, you know.
Cubchoo would definitely have.
Arctozolt, you know, it's
Yes.
our dual type.
Very
but maybe
leaky
they trade
Pokemon.
one. Yeah.
Let's make a video about it. Ace
you go.
Titanium, thank you for the super chat. They say the budget Game Freak is given is ridiculous. Only 13 million? Like what?
There's
I thought it was
some,
like 20 million.
yeah, there's a lot of that went out and tons of people started posting it, and there is some discrepancies with that. Apparently it is not counting their marketing and other costs. It's just for a specific cost. I don't know which one it is, but yeah, so it's not that accurate.
That actually makes sense. That's how movie budgets work. When a movie announces their budget, like a movie studio announces, "Hey,
you're gonna make
this
it."
movie's costing this much." They are not including marketing in that. They always include just the base movie making. So that makes sense.
Apparently marketing costs a lot too, so I mean,
It does, man.
just
I mean,
think
it
about
makes
the videos that they
sense.
made for ZA, like pretty crazy.
But it
stuff.
also pays off, right? You know, like I think
Yeah.
the community's really enjoyed those types of reveals a lot more than the, you know, just like here's a trailer, look at that, there's a new mon in it, you know. But no, yeah, well, I just totally blanked on what we were talking about.
Right here we got.
it was a super
We were
chat,
talking about Gendy.
Super chats,
Gendy hit us with a super chat, and they say, "Lumi, how does it feel to be vindicated? We're getting a quality Kalos game eventually. They're deciding to not outsource and bring love back in remakes." Wait, what did I miss that?
Yeah, so I think this was this morning, right? So, they made a comment, or really late last night, they made a comment about how they're, you know, this is, I mean, y'all already know these are leaks. Get out of here, you know. So there's no Xerneas.
Get
any
out of here!
Veltal.
If you don't want to see the leaks,
There's-
get out of here.
There's
Also
no
ZA stuff, yeah.
Sure,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah.
I've actually had. I was talking to Toby, and Toby's like, "I don't want to." Or no, who was it? Someone was like, "I don't want to see anything from ZA, but show me the teraleak." Like they're like, I
think-
want to
Well,
see that, but I don't want to see
The
ZA
TerraLeak
leaks.
has ZA stuff in
Yeah,
it.
it
Though.
does.
They,
That's
they
the
mean
thing,
the
is,
new,
like,
but they
Well,
mean the new stuff.
So,
Yeah.
like, for example, this thing, it's ZA information. There is no, you know, final warning. There is no Xerneas or Yveltal Mega in the base game or in the DLC
Bro, that burns.
of Legend ZA.
No, but Dusty, you'll love this.
they
You'll love
No, I
addressed
heard it. I heard
Dusty.
it. I forgot. I'm
Yeah,
remembering.
they
Someone just told me.
said-
Yeah.
They said the reason why is we want to give these Pokemon new forms in either a X and Y remake or another Legends game more focused on them.
Dude, X and Y remake, lock it in. HD port. What did I tell you?
Can I just say, I
Buy
need to say something here with
Pokemon
this.
Works.
Please do.
Yeah. I just want to say that this ties directly into our previous conversation, which is because you're hearing like all of the plans that Game Freak has, and we were talking about them switching it up. Now that this is leaked and they might switch things up, X and Y remakes are on the table. It's already an idea in their mind. Like they also mentioned Black and White remakes in a different post that we'll get into. But like that is now also on the. This is why this whole thing about it being like a for sure thing happening, like all these things are for sure happening, is not for sure. Anything can change, and they already have the concepts and ideas of like, we want to do a black and white remake and we want it to be good. We want to do an X and Y remake and we want to give Xerneas and Yveltal forms. You know, like these things are ideas in their minds that could easily swap out with the things that we've already heard. So
yeah,
there's more here than what you think.
Yeah, that's true too. Again, all these are like proposal stuff too. So, you know, yeah, no, but to answer your question, Gindy, how does it feel? Man, it makes me feel good. You know, I think I did, if I'm honest, already feel good just because I did think the biggest hope for me for X and Y remakes one day was that they set Legends EA only in Lumios, right? There's so many really important areas in X and Y, Shalor City with the Tower of Mastery, Anastar City with the Sundial, Terminus Cave, and then Geosinge Town where the ultimate weapon fired in X and Y. So, you know, in my head, when they set this entirely in Lumio City, I did think to myself, like, they're not going to never show us the rest of that again. Now, the thing that really gives me hope is that on another, like, document or whatever, you know, they talked about how when they remake Gem 5 and beyond, they want to be able to expand on. And they basically, like, without saying it, I read it as they know that we were kind of upset with the amount of changes BDSP made.
Yeah.
And they're like, we want to make sure future remakes do have, significant changes.
They said that?
And like they said,
yes.
For Univo remakes and beyond, we want to make sure that we're really expanding on these games and creating something. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, and it
That's
makes
what I was
sense.
saying
Right?
Hold on.
this whole thing.
Wait, Mike
Cash is saying this is fake.
No, it's not fake.
Oh, okay.
Is it? Unless he's talking about something else.
Mike, what are you talking
I don't know
about?
if you're talking about something else.
This information's all coming out right now.
I don't think that's fake. Unless it was something somebody specifically made for
Mike, you've sent 10 messages.
Mike, is it fake? Because I think you're telling me that's fake.
Yeah.
Okay, well then, grain of salt. Then maybe it's fake. Maybe it's.
I mean,
not.
Everything with a grain of salt in the end, because we're just.
That's the thing that sucks about these things is like.
I think he's behind. He might be behind. He's saying.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be a little delay between the chat and like when we're at.
Okay.
But that is something that happens with these things too, is that like you do have people mix in their fake stuff with it. Like I remember when the beta
there were
Pokemon
some
for
fake
Gen
beta
3 were
Pokemon
leaking.
Yeah, there was like a Tanuki.
People, right?
And you're like, what is this?
Anyways,
and you're like, oh, it's Mario.
but either way, I would say, fine. We'll say that's fake until we can. Until we can
I don't think he was
verify
talking about this because we're ahead of him. Like we're ahead of the chat a bit. So I don't know. Like,
Mike, if you want to clarify in the comments what we said that was fake,
yeah, Mike's gonna be like,
into it.
Yeah, what have we said that he's gonna say is fake? That like I like
he's
Meganium? He's like fake. Stop saying Meganium's good. It's fake.
Mike's also like a friend of the podcast, so like he just like
he's still saying it's fake.
Actually, this is a different Mike.
It's fake.
I trust you. We get it, Mike.
I trust you, Mike.
We get it, Mike. We get it.
I trust you, Mike. Mike is my new source.
Mike is lying. That's a different Mike. I don't even know that Mike.
Wait, it's a different Mike. But either way, even if it is fake, the initial thing that did say the thing about Xerneas and Yveltal forms, that was verified by multiple people. So that's but either way, that would show that there is some kind of change that's being made, and if that's the case, like that still shows that they're putting work into it. But my whole point was when they set Legends EA entirely in Lumio City, it kind of spoke to me that they have not future plans for Kalos. I want to be clear because plans are like concrete, right? But they have future ideas. In the same way that, we used this comparison yesterday or the other day on a video. When Passio came out, Masters EX came out, the Passio region in development looked just like Italy, but GameFreak specifically told them, do not make it look exactly like Italy because that's something that we might use later. That's not a plan. GameFreak's not confirming an Italy region, but they're going, this is something we might want to do. And so that's kind of how I took just Legends EA's existence is it's Game Freak going, we might have more to do with Kalos in the future.
Yeah.
So, let's make sure that we tell the story we want to tell here and not incorporate anything beyond that.
All right, I want to get into this this Pokemon game timeline. I guess the last preface will be, this isn't a deep dive. I think this is just kind of our first impressions, and we're going to just kind of vaguely talk about it. We did exchange, like us three, exchanged some voice memos yesterday about the ethics of talking about this stuff too much, because it can sour what we, the speculation and the theory crafting, and it can sour a lot of that stuff. But we'll probably talk about it again in the future. I think it's definitely a lot of this more recent things, like the first couple items on the timeline, which we're going to show in 1 second, is probably just here to stay. And I think it's just going to be part of the conversation. And anything that is beyond that, again, it's probably just going to be in the conversation for the next 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, which is not a bad thing, because there are some cool ideas, and it'll be interesting to see what we actually end up with in 2027 and 2028 compared to what this list entails. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, let's let's get into it. Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, Central Leagues.
Major spoilers.
All
Spoilers.
So the summary, I guess I'll read it. I'll read the timeline, and then we'll just kind of go step by step. Summary of upcoming Pokemon games leaked today. 2025 to 2026 is Mega Dimension, codename Senkaku. We got 2026, Pokemon Wind and Wave, Generation 10, codename Gaia. 2027, Gaia DLC. And also, and I'm in the middle of talking about this, but like, again, we're not showing anything, so we can't actually show you the sources of this stuff because we're not trying to incriminate ourselves. I'm going to keep reading. 2027 to 2028, codename Ringo, which would be a Legends Galar game. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god.
I also want to say that the actual timeline
Centro
that we saw from the from this leak is actually like years off. Like, for example, Gen 10 on the timeline was supposed to release 2025, not 2026. So I think Centro is making the assumption that, okay, well, we'll just put it year by year. But there's very much a chance that since some projects like Legends EA we know and Gen 10 we know were pushed back, I think that it's you should take this timeline is not from Game Freak. This is purely speculation by Centro. Since those games were pushed back, who's to say that these bigger, more ambitious, if you will, games don't also get pushed back even further, right? I just kind of wanted to clarify that this timeline is speculation based off a timeline that was in the leak.
I definitely would not put any stock, well, a little bit of stock, but it's his speculation on the actual dates, like the actual years. I would not be like, oh yeah, these are the years that it's going to happen. Like, it's just him assuming that's what the years are. So, yeah. I think the only thing we got was 2030 was like the end date of all of this. So
we got codename Ringo Legends Galar, which is literally insane to me because it just feels like, oh, is that the most real thing on this list? Then again, the dates 2028, 2029. It says codename Seed. This is sick to me because I thought this was Gen 11. Codename Seed, an online multiplayer, multi-region game. It is basically a game. Think about the region of Japan, right? And we have 4 regions that are based on locations and regions within Japan, in the real life Japan.
4.5.
Yeah, 4.25. we got so basically this game would be all of Japan. Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, and Kitakami. And whatever else would be there to fill in, like, all the stuff to fill in the blanks. You know, everything that we have never seen in like any Pokemon region that we have never seen match another one of those locations and regions within Japan would be filled out, which is, like, for world building, beautiful, so cool. And this is a side game. I want to bring this up. Okay, the last thing is Gen 11, 2030 Gen 11. But I
thank
think,
God we have no information on.
Yeah, thank God.
Cute.
Unless they're dude, this is the painful thing. We could wait 2 years and then more TeraLeak stuff comes out.
No, TeraLeak's dead, bro.
Okay,
It's dead.
okay. Hopefully.
Let's hope and pray that it is dead. There should be no reason that they should have anything more.
So
So.
I think the Seed game, codename Seed game, is so interesting to me. And this is the game that would be like procedurally generated, like Minecraft, right? You start in Minecraft and it's like the game is always like the world is always different. That's what we would be looking at. This would, dude, it would literally think about game. It would be Minecraft. It would be like a game where you're collecting resources and you're surviving and you make. It's like it's the fantasy RPG. It's so cool, dude. And I think what I love, what's so exciting about this is like this could also be a new side type of game, right? This could be a side game like Legends, where if it is successful, like then we see Pokemon. Like I'm making up a title, but Pokemon Seed Europe, and now it's like got the UK, it's got France, it's got Paldea. I'm mixing universes, but then it's like there's all these other spaces that we've never seen in a Pokemon game fleshed out.
There's no Galar in this game. It's the actual UK. You can go to Paldea, like Dusty said, but it's actual France and actual UK. You just go there. There's just people there.
I was like, what are you saying?
This is
the cool
so
thing about that is like we literally put out. Was it last week? I apologize, but I think it was last week. We put out a video about South Kalos and just the history of that in Pokemon games, and so if we were to get this like Europe game that you're proposing, Dusty, like. To get from
that's just an example,
Paldea
but
to
yeah.
Kalos.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's exciting because to get from Paldea to Kalos, you'd have to go through South Kalos. Like that could be how we get South Kalos back.
It's just so exciting to me because like I believe in these documents they're talking about like making a game that's like endless or like a true open world game. Dude, it just sounds so exciting to think that like they're trying to fill out this world. It's so it's just so exciting to me. It's so exciting.
I agree with you.
Like that type of gameplay would be so sick.
I'm not trying to be negative at all. I'm just saying like I get excited about it, but also I know just from the TeraLeak and other things that like they have so many good ideas and good plans, and to actually execute them and follow through all the whole way. I'm not saying like in their quality. I'm saying like that it actually happens. Is a lot of times things change. A lot of times things don't happen fully the way that when we look at this, like this is a magical list, right? Yeah. But like the actual implementation of it all is like very hard to do, that's their hard work. But
tell me this. Like I would love to hear now that we've broken down this timeline. What's the other side of the coin that you guys have? Is there anything that you guys have been able to gather from all of these posts and all this information that's coming out? That has come out is there anything that has disqualified any of these items on this timeline?
I think
there's one thing.
Biggest, Soul might have another thing then, but for me, the thing that stands out is what I said at the beginning of the video, and that is that we also saw the proposal for Legends 2. It had nothing to do. It's completely different from Legends EA. We got the proposal from Scarlet and Violet's DLC. It is not what we got for Scarlet and Violet. So I think that is the biggest thing is that these are proposals.
I will be so sad. That's the biggest thing about this whole thing is I'll be so sad. Like I'm already so sad about losing Johto, but like Galar is like my next favorite, and it's like they hate me. If they really cut Johto,
they might, man. You cover leaks. They might hate you. They hate us too.
They do hate me.
They hate me.
Yeah, but
dude, I'm so excited.
They might hate
me
double for that. Yeah, because I don't want to lose Galar. I already lost Johto, bro.
Yeah,
I don't want it for Hoenn.
No, I'm with you, man. It's like, what would they even do next? I was so bummed because for the last 2 weeks I went to Scotland and I was planning literally the two ideas I had was either a game that took place 300 years ago in the Galar region, it was a Legends game, or a game that took place 1,000 years ago in the Galar region, and I was like, that's too far back. They would never do that. And I've spent the last 2 weeks detailing legends and evolutions and new Pokemon and regional forms and all these concepts for like what this ancient Galar region would look like. And then we get this information, and I was so crushed that this super fun video that I wanted to like do, right? I wanted to go through the process of like creating a region. I thought that'd be so much fun. I was crushed. But then I've realized, no, this is good. because now I
We
could
can
just
still do it.
I can use this nugget. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing it on my
Yeah.
channel. I'm gonna take this nugget and I'm gonna use it as evidence for why, like, my ideas could be real. Like, that'll be.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I was just like so crushed. Like I'm
No,
trying
I mean-
to. Sorry. I turned that into a plug. I was trying to say, Soul, I'm with you.
No, it's
A
okay.
Legends Galar game would be insane. You are right. Like that would be insane.
Yeah.
That would be insane.
Yeah, no, I was
There's
saying,
so much
like,
potential.
It's sad we did a Johto version of this and then it got cut, but I mean we're still gonna put that out. But it's like, you
Yeah.
know, I
might
almost
record a
wish
new
that
intro.
It's not cut; it's shelved.
Yeah, it's not. Well, the Johto game. Yeah.
No, but
the
our
Johto game. I
video-
thought you meant our video.
2 months ago,
our video.
we recorded a video detailing a Legends Johto game. We were like, this would be fun, and we just didn't push it out because like everyone wants to talk about Legends EA. So we're gonna
Right.
we're gonna publish that in a couple weeks, I think.
We should just do like a new intro and be like,
I think
"Hey,
I'm gonna.
This was before. This was
I
before."
think I'm
But anyway, the thing is, like, we can. I almost wish that we had done Galar because then we would have, because this is planning stuff like Lumi was talking about. We were like, which region do we do? And it would have been fun to do Galar because then we would have had like something to look back on and see
Yeah.
if we got right, which we kind of do for Johto now. But it's
We
yeah.
can do it
Anyway.
anyways. We can do it.
Yeah,
anyways.
yeah, we should. We
Oh,
should. We should do one.
It's
I
saying
wanted to
audio is
read,
messing up. Let me see. Test. Can you guys talk? Can you guys hear us all right?
Hello.
Alex, maybe refresh if you
Hello.
are getting audio problems.
Yeah. Hey, so I wanted to read this just because it's relevant to the conversation too.
Yeah.
But Kotu Nerds made a great point with their super chat. Thank you for the super chat as well, Kotu Nerds.
Thank you.
And he said, "Remember, XY was supposed to get a crazy plot about aliens, but look what we got instead. Also, Unova remakes Legends Johto, just kind of adding to, you know, like what you said, Dusty. What's the other side of the coin? What possibly disqualifies this? And you know,
Yeah.
like what the man said, you know, that's all great points. I really think too, I don't understand the timelines and stuff, but if this game was proposed around the same time that it was proposed that Legends 2 would be Johto, it does make sense to me that they would take the Legends 2 idea that was proposed and make that Legends 3. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, no, it is possible for it to come back, no doubt, but it was cut at one point.
Yeah, no.
Do you guys want to
To-
talk a little bit about some of the things that we could expect to see? Oh, should we start from the beginning, like just Gen 10?
Well, I got to say something first. I mean, we can. It'll
Yeah,
segue
that's
into
fine,
Gen 10
that's fine, that's
anyway. Because you had asked that question, like, what is? I forget the question exactly, but I know my answer anyway. One thing about the whatever, I think it was C2 that just had mentioned that about the Kalos alien plot thing that has been confirmed to not be real. Like even from the teraleak, like there's no confirmation of there ever being a Kalos alien plot. That was
Yeah.
just a thing on 4chan that people ran with.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's beside the point. The thing I wanted to mention is, Dusty, when you were going over the seed game, with it being like the generated version, like game, what is it? Pro whatever?
Procedural generation.
I'm not gonna be able to say that many times, but
No, I know, right? PG.
Yeah, the PG feature is actually, as far as I know, not in Codename Seed's game. It's actually in Gen 10. Gen 10 is the game with the PG feature.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so like that's the region that's gonna generate.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
okay.
what we heard about the.
Right.
That's what we heard about the.
I got that wrong.
You know, the
So
seed
no, but it's
Pokemon.
not about
That's-
saying that. It's
No,
about the
that's-
problem is that there's confusion with seed and
Yes.
seed in
Yes.
Gen 10. So like
yes.
Gen 10,
That's what I
there's-
got. Yeah.
yeah, in Gen 10 there's a little baby Pokemon. It's called the Seed. It does all this generating stuff, and so like then there's Codename Seed for the multi-region remake game. And so for me, to go back to what your question was, is like, do we see any of this changing? To me, if there's anything that actually gets cut or changed or mixed in with anything, a lot of stuff from Codename Seed could be actually in Gen 10. I don't know if Codename Seed actually makes it to the end finish line. Personally, this is just speculation, purely like just my own take on how I see it, because there's some weird confusion on why they use Seed here and Seed in Gen 10. Like maybe it's trying to do the same thing. Both of them are apparently MMOs as well. So it's like there's too many
Gen 10 is supposed to be an
overlapping things.
MMO.
Yeah, there's too many overlapping things. And to me, it's like, I don't know if the ideas are that separated or that thought through. I mean, Gen 10's is, so it's like,
yeah, no, that's
I don't
interesting.
know.
I guess I would say,
Yeah.
I think oftentimes we do see ideas added to Pokemon games that are then, if successful, or if successful, those ideas carry on into the future. Like, I feel like since Generation 1, there has been, like, we all want to say, like, every game is so different and they scrap things and yada, yada, yada. And they do. There are things that are left behind. But every single game is trying to get closer to that core experience. And I think there's been a little bit of, I definitely think there have been growing pains with what a Pokemon game actually should be. I feel like it was too limited to the tropes and the arbitrary things that were established in Generation 1. I think that's been an issue. And what I'm hopeful for in this Switch 2 era is new Pokemon games like Legends ZA that actually abandon the unnecessary tropes from the past and instead deliver a Pokemon experience that is, deliver a Pokemon experience that is like at the heart of what Red and Blue, set out to deliver, but also achieved in Generation 1. Like Generation 1, it was this beautiful experience of collecting and exploring, and right, it's Pokemon. It was beautiful, and it made sense for the time and the limitations that there were due to technology. And I think what Gen 10 and what the future needs to do is like make a new game from the ground up that still captures that same essence from Red, Blue, and Yellow, but in an actual modern and like an actual good video game, right? And so maybe these procedurally generated like worlds or maybe planes, because I don't imagine the entire game is just AI slop. What it would be is that there are distinct locations that are set in place, but the routes as you discover them, the wild Pokemon, as you discover the routes, they get formed. They get formed through that procedural generation where they just kind of, everything just starts appearing based on a certain set of rules in the algorithm. That's what I can see for Gen 10. And it would even make sense for even a water, like an island hopping game. Like if that's what we're looking for, if that's what we're looking at in Gaia, that makes sense where each route is going to be a little bit different. Islands will appear, right? Think about the Mirage Islands. Like islands can appear, they can disappear. Like everything is so different every single time you go to a route. Like that is exciting, and that would keep a game constantly refreshed and exciting. And then I can, again, what I'm saying, long story short, that if that nugget of an idea is implemented correctly and actually if the developers think that's successful, then that gets carried out into these future Pokemon games in different ways.
I could totally see that. Yeah.
So that was,
I'm not saying that it won't be there. I'm just saying from what I'm understanding, because I'm saying that there's confusion on these whole these two games because of the seed word. We're not even sure now. Ron was in the chat and he was saying that there might be confusion on the Pokemon in Gen 10 being called the seed Pokemon, so it might not be that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but the whole point of me bringing that up is and we can dig into this because the MMO feature of any game is that's not just a 2-year game. An MMO lasts. An MMO is usually a living game. And when you see Gen 11,
I've been saying this, man. Gen 10's got to last 5 years. Make it so.
When you see Gen 11
DLC.
in 2030, and you're like, okay, but Gen 10 can last actually if it's an MMO RPG. And the other thing is, in this point, and then I'm done. It's just
no, you could talk longer. I spoke for 10 minutes straight.
No. Yeah. I'm just saying, how can they fit these two games if they're both MMOs in this same time frame? It's a lot to fit in this one little time frame, and that's why I'm just
for GameFreak.
Yeah, exactly. I'm I don't know if both of these exist in the same time frame. These two games.
Maybe not. Maybe not. That's fair.
First off, I just wanted to say, Dusty, while you were talking, I was laughing, and I want you to know it wasn't
I didn't even
you,
see.
but it was
I
that
didn't
Northender commented MMORPG Lumi, and that is why I have shut up for this whole conversation.
No, but it's actually Lumi knew. He knew.
Lumi knew. Lumi predicted it.
No,
He knew before it was even.
He let it
also
slip.
too-
He wasn't supposed to, but he let it slip. That's why we had to
Really
clown him.
knew.
We turned it into
also
a joke.
too,
We had to
unless
shame him.
I'm misunderstanding something, because again, when it comes to MMO, man, I'm dead serious. Last night I saw like where it was said like Gen 10 will have MMO features, and I literally thought, oh God, I have to talk about this tomorrow. but that is something too, is that from what I've seen, so you're well more plugged into these things than I am, but from what I've seen, Gen 10 is not an MMORPG, but is an RPG that, like, it's a Pokemon game with MMO features, whereas Seed is planned to be an MMO.
Right. So
I don't know what any of that means clearly, but
that is true. That is true. At least from what we know. But like all of this, we don't know the extent of any of it. When it says MMO features, it could be a whole MMO game. We don't know. Like it could be either or. And who knows what they even built upon, like maybe they were like, oh yeah, it starts with MMO features, and then they're like, you know what, let's just make the entire game like this. So yeah, it's just that it's for MMO. I mean, Dusty, you can look it up. Massively multiplayer online game or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, I'll do the research in offline, and then I'll come prepared. But
it's just a game that's online, so like me and you can go on there and play through the actual game together.
Well,
like
again, those are the word seed is like infiltrated my brain. Those are the seeds that have been being laid since Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, where you could play with two people through the whole game. Through Sword and Shield. In Sword and Shield.
Raid systems, right?
Exactly,
like,
the raid
get
systems.
certain Pokemon.
But like
it was in the TeraLeak from last year. They were like, we eventually want to make an MMO Pokemon game.
Yeah.
So like it was always coming.
I think an issue right now with all of the online features that exist, at least in Scarlet and Violet, is that they feel pointless. Like when I'm with my niece and we're like just trying to battle or trade, she's always like, oh, let me go into your world, because she likes that. Like that seems exciting to her. And it is exciting on paper, but there's nothing to do in Scarlet and Violet together in the game together.
Right.
Like, so
that's not a good
I'm
MMO.
always like, yeah, I'm always just like, let's just connect on the whatever it's called. Like, let me just connect and we'll trade or we'll just battle. And she's like, no, let me go into your world. And I don't see a purpose to it, because there's nothing you can do. You can run around together, but I'm like, it would be so much. This is I was playing with Jake on my channel, just like online. I think AJ, whatever. We were playing online, and we were all in each other's world and talking about Legends EA, and I kept having this reflex, right? In my mind, what I wanted to do was send out my Pokemon with the Let's Go feature in Scarlet and Violet, but I wanted to attack their Pokemon that was already out, and you can't do that in Scarlet and Violet. But what if you could literally have a real-time battle? What do you say?
So you're saying like you can just go around the game and like I'm just sitting here minding my own business. I'm like, I'm gonna take on the next gym.
Yes.
And then Dusty comes in with his level 100 Charizard.
That is what an MMO is.
Team and leaves.
That is what you can do.
100%.
Like that sounds so much fun.
See, that's the whole thing here. Is like, I don't know if we're grasping, but maybe we are right now. Is that GameFreak is looking at the gaming industry and thinking like, what are they doing? Like, Fortnite is making like this giant world where people go in there and play together, like other games. I'm trying to think of, I always go to Fortnite because it's like the biggest phenomenon ever, but other MMOs, like there's just people online playing them all the time and like laughing and having a great time streaming it. Like that's kind of like where gaming has been for a while, and GameFreak's a little, behind on these things too, but it's just, I could totally see them being like, yeah, we need to get Pokemon in this whole sphere. And yeah, so I think that it's a huge thing. I do think that MMO features were in Scarlet and Violet, just like you said, Dusty, but those features were so limited. A true MMO is like what I was saying, is massively online. So like, it's not just you and me on there. It's the whole like world is
if
on
you
this
let them
server.
in. But there's another, it's like also, yeah.
I don't know if you let them in or not, because like when you think about World of Warcraft, that's the biggest like crazy one, right?
Yeah.
Just like, it's just everyone is there in this world. And
yeah, and maybe
yeah,
the part about those games that I've never enjoyed is like, I spent a lot of time on my Minecraft castle. I do not want someone else with a bomb to destroy my castle. So I'm not making my server online. My friends can come, but that's it. Like, it's not public.
Yeah.
Right? So
it's true. It's like,
but maybe
I
in
don't know what the
Pokemon,
extent of it would be.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, it'd still have to be a Pokemon game, and I don't think they would want to make any situation where it's like, because again, I'm always saying is Pokemon games are cozy. I don't think it's a night, like at nighttime, everyone kills you. Like, although we see that in Legends ZA, right? That element of there being parts of the day or whatever that are a little bit more dangerous. I don't know. It's just it's exciting to. It's like this is a good conversation. It's getting me excited.
I want to be clear too, because I saw I think it was Gendy. I've lost the comment now, but I think it was Gendy asked a question, and I want to address it because I think it's important. I think it was Gendy said, I cannot find it now. Said how can it have MMO? It was Garros Hand said, how can you have MMO features without it being an MMO? LOL. And I want to be clear from my stance. I can't speak for these two, but I think this is where y'all are at. I don't know. I'm letting you know like what we're hearing, and I think we're trying to experiment with what that would look like, but I don't even know what an MMO is, man. I still don't. It's been explained to me so many times. I know you have, and I still don't. I don't get. Here's my issue. You explained it to me. I still don't get how that isn't Fortnite. Because that was the thing. Like that was the big meme.
Well, they're all just different games. They're all It's a multiplayer game.
Understand.
I think the biggest thing, even to answer that guy's question, is an MMO is literally online. Like the game itself is online.
Lives online.
There is
That's
no
true.
Yeah, there is no like
Offline.
you do your own campaign offline. There is only like you get on and the game is you go into this online world and the whole game takes place online where there's tons of other people that are actually playing online the same place with you. That's an MMO. And then if you want to add RPG elements, which is most of them, there's RPG elements. And it's like blurred a lot because of games like Fortnite, where there's like, we're all online playing on the same map now. It's like a gaming thing that has happened, but that's not technically an MMO. So how does it translate to Pokemon, or how are their MMO features? Scarlet and Violet is a perfect like representation. It's just a really poor representation. It's like this many features. It's like one feature of an MMO game where you both go online and you can go through your world together. There's just nothing to do. There's nobody else there. There's no quests. There's nothing to like do. But that is adding MMO features to a Pokemon game. I don't know what it looks like you said. I really don't.
It's so funny. I'm so sorry, chat, because I see so many people giving like the real SGP said Elder Scrolls Online, Lumi, and
he's like, I don't know what that is. Yeah.
I don't.
It's all right. It's all right.
I don't play much outside of Pokemon.
It's all right. Let's get to some of these.
That Pokemon fan.
I am that Pokemon fan. I'm the problem.
Let's get to some of these super chats. Actually, no. Did we already read N. Simmons?
Let me go.
I would like. There's a super chat here by N. Simmons.
No, we did not read that.
I would like a Legends game where part of the story is how Jim started in the Elite Four. That's cool. That's cool. That the history
that could be fun. Like as a
Galar game. Doesn't that sound like a Galar game?
Honestly, I wouldn't even say Galar. I would say so. I want to first say that I would like for an Alola game to be set in the far past. But one of the big elements of Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon is Kukui building the Pokemon League. Yeah, we actually do know from the TerraLeak that a scrapped beta version of Sun and Moon, like a beta feature rather, was that they wanted you to like recruit gym leaders. So I actually could see, like, I don't want it. I would prefer it be in the past, but I could see GameFreak going, let's do a Legends Alola game that continues that story by having you build the league and like actually establish it. You know? Mm-hmm. I could see that.
That was a thing.
Yeah. Vasilis has been a member for his entire life, 22 months. Thank you, buddy, for the support. This leak shows us that there are no patterns with Game Freak, and they are unprecedented, unpredictable. Also, Soul was one of the only people predicting Legends Galar.
True.
I do remember people talking about. I do remember people talking about. Like, it feels faded because Soul did make that post like 2 weeks prior. And then, like, it was on my mind because of just, like, my coincidental trip. But I do remember people speculating about Galar because of the T-shirt when Arceus came out.
Yeah, the T-shirt.
That was, like,
I was also going to go into more. I never thought that this would ever happen. So I was I was going to go into more with, like, the books. Like, you know, the 3 books that were on.
Yeah.
They were like different colors, and one of them is like,
I
the
think,
Galar color.
but I do think
So-
the three. I never thought people say like, oh, there's only going to be 3 Legends games, and that makes no sense. Like, why would they limit it if the games are successful to only 3? But
Right.
GameFreak did have plans for Sinnoh, Johto, Galar, and there are
But
3
you know
books.
what? That kind of disproves the book
like, the
theory,
changing-
doesn't it?
the changing of the books.
It was the biggest like thing people used was like one of the books is green. That's Legends EA. So the purple one is
No, it's
but
it's
it wasn't
Celebi.
supposed to be
It's
Legends
Celebi.
EA. No, but we know the
It's
Legends
Celebi.
game was supposed to be Legends Ho-Oh and Legends Lugia.
I know, but Celebi is the time
Lumi,
travel.
I like
Well, yeah,
Dusty's
but
theory.
it was supposed to be Lugia and Ho-Oh, so you'd think that book would be silver or gold or something. I mean, I love the theory,
It's
but I'm just
Celebi.
saying, like,
And then what's the last book? What
the
color?
last book is purple, and that's
It's
what people are saying
Eternatus.
Eternatus.
Yeah, so you literally have Arceus, Celebi, Eternatus. That makes the most sense. Because Ho-Oh and Lugia would not be. Those are just like your partners. They're not the
Book theory lives.
like Arceus is not your
theory
partner. Arceus is like the I guess it's not the antagonist, but anyways,
No,
yeah, book theory is real.
is like a partner, you know.
I'm just trying to I'm trying to say it's real.
He gives me a phone that saves my life.
Yeah.
I'd say he's my partner, you know.
Karmic
He's my
Binding, thank you for the super chat. They say Pokemon always needed more puzzles and bring back the verticality that was there
Absolutely.
when we had HMs. That is true. I often don't. I don't often think about that. But
Well, I don't like HMs, but yeah,
no, the HMs are fine. HMs are fine.
they're all right. But the puzzling, please.
Yeah, but the puzzles and the HMs, it's like the HMs are a puzzle. It's like that sacrifice makes
true.
it sweet.
Very true.
I don't know. Everyone online always says HMs suck, and I'm like, yeah, they did get a little ridiculous when you needed like eight or 9 of them, but like
They don't.
the
This
point
is
of
a-
them is
this
that
is a
you
tangent,
have to
right?
make sacrifices on your team to have the HMs to actually do things. You know,
Yeah.
I just have a
Yeah.
different opinion about it.
No, I agree with you in the sense of like I think that they were good for the game. I just think it sucks that you have to switch out a specific Pokemon for it. So like if there was a way to like make it work, that'd be cool. But whatever, I like it. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
like it
that's
at the
cool.
same time.
Let me see. Karmic Binding, great point. It really like the verticality would be sick, and I think we did start to see that in Scarlet and Violet. But I think there's more they could do. Crazy Drew 2, thank you for the super chat. They say with all the recent stuff all coming out at once, will it lessen the chance of getting new starters in February, or is Gen 10 too far into development? Yeah, I think Gen 10 is. It doesn't matter what comes out. It's like at a point, like I don't know. People were speculating that Legends ZA was going to be scrapped, and I'm like, what are we talking about? Like, you can't change things to like it's made. It doesn't matter.
It's way too. It
You
is
have
way
to put
too
it out
late in the game.
You have to put it
Yeah,
out. The
Yeah,
leaks don't matter.
I mean, the one thing that I do think about is we do so obviously like this leaked to the public today, but this information was stolen in August. So I do think Gen 10 is pretty locked in. I think it might be a little different just because again what we saw was a proposal. So I think little details could change here and there for sure. But like with things that are a bit further out, like Legends Galar, like this codename Seed game, I do wonder if that could change because yes, it's leaked to us right now, but they know it was stolen. They knew it was stolen a year ago. They knew it was stolen in August of 2024.
Yeah.
So they have had an extra year to pivot. Like while it wasn't public, I'm sure they knew, dude, at any point this guy could drop it. And they obviously were a year less into development then.
Sure.
So I really think they could have pivoted on really anything post Gen 10.
That's such a good point, Lumi. It's crazy. I didn't even think about that, to be honest. Like they've had a year to say. And they 100% knew what he took. So it's like they have had a year to be like, do we change this or not for these things?
Yeah.
And even for Gen 10, I also want to say with what you just said, Lumi, about Gen 10 is we got early stuff of Gen 10.
The earliest stuff.
The earliest stuff of Gen 10 a year ago, if that makes sense. So it's like double things can change. Things that are in place a year ago probably didn't change that much, but from the information that we have, the information point, which is like the beginning of Gen 10's development, a lot has probably changed from what we're reading to what we're going to see. That's all. A lot can change.
Yeah, a lot can change
right now.
And honestly, I was talking crap, but it is true that a lot of the designs that we saw, or at least heard about from the teraleak about Legends ZA Mega Pokemon, they've actually changed a little bit, or they weren't entirely accurate. And we don't know, but that could essentially be from like a slightly different design of a Pokemon that had been altered for the final game. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got.
I want to I wanted to touch. I completely lost my train of thought. Just keep going.
The starter Pokemon? He asked about the starter Pokemon.
More this.
Yeah, I think we'll see. I mean, we don't know. Like they could give a starter Pokemon like not on Pokemon Day, but like months after. But like I would, I feel like they like to make a big deal out of the announcement. And if you're gonna announce a game, the starter Pokemon are integral. You give us the region, you give us the starter Pokemon, and maybe the legendary Pokemon, and then that's all the discussion we need for 5 months.
That said, there is some precedence behind what Crazy Drew's saying. When they revealed Sun and Moon, they did not reveal the starters.
Yeah. There's times
now
that
every
they've
game
done it.
since they have, but
yeah,
I would put my money on yes, we will see 3 starter Pokemon on Pokemon Day for Gen 10. I
think so.
I'm almost certain. Like I think that
if
would
nothing
happen.
else too, because I think there's some excitement behind it. Because we've already kind of given out a spoiler warning for ZA stuff, but there are no new Pokemon in ZA. There are there's
new Mega Evolutions,
right?
Those are new Pokemon.
So I think they are and they aren't. You know what I mean? Like they certainly are.
I can't wait to see it.
And they are new designs, but the fans definitely. I mean, you just tell me, Dusty. Tomorrow I drop, Mega Noivern, and I drop a brand new Pokemon. Which one do you get more excited for?
Yeah.
So I think that's why they dropped the starters on Pokemon Day, right? Is because we haven't had a new Pokemon since Pecharunt, which was January of 2024, right?
Yeah.
So it'll have been over 2 years since we have seen a brand new Pokemon. I think they want to capitalize that. It's also, of course, the obvious is it's the 30th anniversary. Come on,
and their starters,
they want to cook,
the thing that people love, and they want to choose. They want to talk about and choose. Like it's happening. Like it's one of the biggest things. The only thing that there's some questionable stuff is again with this seed Pokemon. The way that they describe it in the game is like almost like a starter. It's like you have like this Pokemon with you the whole time, and you're like raising it from a baby, and you're like, is this my starter? But I don't think so. I think there'll still be 3 starters, and you get the little seed guy too. I don't even know if the seed guy makes it into this game. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's true too. Because what if they encounter some like issues in development making that? Because these are lofty things, and I want to preface this by saying I'm a huge Pokemon fan, and I actually very much believe that GameFreak can make high quality games. But you do have to look at. We know a lot about from this teraleak with other games. We saw Sun and Moon's the one I always think of, and X and Y is another good one. There were so many features and so many things that they were like saying, let's try doing this. Oh, we want a feature like this, and none of it was seen, and it was likely because they couldn't get it going. So it's like this is all really pretty, but how much of this realistically will Game Freak actually be able to do, and actually be able to do without breaking another aspect of the game? Because that was something interesting too that they talked about, is they said that Scarlet and Violet, they encountered a big issue with it making the DLC, which might be why we got the DLC on such a weird schedule. I don't know if y'all remember that, but the DLC, it kind of came out weird. It came out September, December, and the Sword and Shield one was like June, September, October. So it was just, it felt a little weird, and Teal Mask was summer themed, but they pushed it back so late. So it was weird. But they said that when they made Scarlet and Violet, they did not make it compatible for DLC. And so because of that, when they made DLC for it, they encountered issues. So what they have to do now is they have to basically build their game under the assumption we're going to make DLC for it. That way, if they don't, it's fine, whatever, the game's not going to break. But if they do, the game's not going to break,
Sure.
Yep.
So again, it's just what can they feasibly pull off without crashing something?
I'm going to keep hitting these super chats. D. Sampy has been a member for 14 months on YouTube. Don't forget, a seed is a lot of the number used to randomly generate things. They use seeds to determine your game based on what time and date you start. That is true. So the seeds are already in the game. It's just like, what is the effect of it? Yeah, good point.
No, that's the terminology I think that he's saying. It's like that's a terminology for like when you're making the games.
A game, yeah. No, that makes sense because they have that in And dude,
It already is in every Pokemon game. Every time
Yeah.
you reset your game, your what is it called? As he said, like the date and time, or what is it? The trainer ID. The trainer ID is the randomly generated like number
oh yeah, for Spinda.
that gets created, and also no, not even for Spinda. Just for
but it does affect things. You know, it affects Spinda's
Sure.
spots.
Yeah,
So Spinda is the legendary of Gen 10, or the Pokemon of Gen 10.
Essentially, it is though. Actually, I don't know if we want to talk about the seed Pokemon like we want to move into that because that is a huge part of this whole thing.
I think we have a lot to cover right now. Yeah.
You got to do the rest of the super chats, but I think it's a huge part of.
Yeah, we'll.
I mean, it has to do with the islands and everything. So
Gen 10 Spinda confirmed.
I think we'll probably. Yeah, I think we have to do another video about Gen 10, so that's fine.
True.
But yeah.
By the way, there's 534 people watching. I just want to say thank you guys for the support.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you for
Appreciate
being
it.
Here. I mean, it's a big day. It's a lot of stuff going on.
Jason Borno said, "Did I miss Legends Galar talk?" And you did not. We have not really talked about it that much. I mean, if I got to spoil anyone, like there was a new scrapped Gigantamax Nidoking design, which is like mind blowing. It looks so good. There's also like
that's
actually
from
beta
Sword
content.
and Shield, right?
Yeah, that's beta
sorry. Yes,
content. That's
yes, you're right.
beta.
From Sword and Shield. Yes. But again, it's just cool to think about. We always think about like scrapped Megas and scrapped Pokemon, but like scrapped Gmax, of course. I don't know why that didn't make it in the game. That's so sick. It's literally, it would have been the best Gigantamax form. It's so sick. And then there was also there's that like slow king that seems to maybe evolve from
That is
Milcery.
not scrapped. Yeah.
That is not scrapped.
Well, I hope it gets scrapped. But
what do you mean you hope it gets scrapped?
I hope it gets
I
scrapped.
hate it. I don't want it
He
to
doesn't
exist.
Damn, dude.
Can I give my theory on what I think that is?
It might not even be a form. Yeah.
I
Bro,
think
yeah, go for it.
that's it may not even make it into the game, right? But because it's a concept art in a proposal, and also it got leaked, which is like another point against it maybe being removed.
He's gonna get scrapped. He's gonna get scrapped.
But I do want to say what's interesting though is it definitely has the colors of Galarian Slowpoke. There's already a Galarian Slowking. My thought is that I think this is actually a new evolution for Galarian Slowpoke.
Yeah, that's what
Galarian Slowpoke will be able to evolve into Galarian Slowbro, Galarian Slowking, and this new Pokemon. I've seen some people say they think it's like a regional variant of Slowking, and that's what I'm saying is
no.
I think
It's a new evolution. It's like it's not a top. Yeah, okay. I it's funny when I think about things and I'm like, oh, everyone knows this, and I'm like, I didn't know other people. Yeah, it's Galarian. It's a Galar region. It's Galarian Slowpoke base, and it's a new evolution because Galarian Slow King is like. It is under mind control by the toxic Shelder. This thing is thriving as a cook, you know?
Yeah.
It's a completely different Pokemon.
What's really funny about that too is that the episode in the anime, I promise this is relevant. I know some of y'all roll your eyes when I mention anime, but
what are we doing?
But in Pokemon Journeys, they did 2 episodes about Slowking. And one of them ended up involving Galarian Slowking. And it was very curry focused. It was very, like, cooking focused.
Yeah.
Like, that was the thing is they were fighting over, like, the 2 Slowkings were fighting over, like, who's got the best food or whatever. And one was ramen, one was curry. And so it's just kind of interesting to see, like, maybe there was always, like, some kind of minor cooking thing in Game Freak's mind when they were making these Pokemon. And so, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that could be. I want to say about it too. I know we're not really on the topic, well, we are kind of, but with the Legends Galar game, apparently it's set in the way past. So like this could just be like, yeah. So 1,000 years is a lot.
Which isn't that when the Darkest Day happened?
Yeah, I think that's the whole point. It's like the whole first time that all that happened. But
so sick, dude. It's so sick.
The whole thing with a new slow slow poke evolution would be that the Shelder never bit its tail, and this thing has just evolved naturally. Like this is how it used to be 1,000 years ago before a Shelder ever got a hold of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like the Legends Arceus evolutions that are like currently quote unquote extinct.
I know ZA's coming out, but there's nothing that gets me more hyped than like the premise of like Legends Arceus games where it's like Galar 1,000 years ago is like
it's awesome,
and you get new evolutions and regional forms of those Pokemon in the past.
It's awesome, dude. It's awesome.
It's 10 times better for me, guys, than Mega Evolutions in the city.
For real, man. No, and I feel it. I honestly, like, this got me so excited. I think the extra layer of hype that this Legends Galar game presented to me what I realized was like that I guess it just made me believe that we could even get new Legends games. I mean, obviously for Generation 8, but like for Paldea, for Alola. I mean, I guess obviously it's crazy. We're like all these older Pokemon titles were always getting remakes and revisits, and there was a pecking order. And with new generations, it's been really awesome to see them introduce like all these like mysterious lore that we don't get answers to. But like Sword and Shield is what? Like it's like 6 years old, 7 years. Like it's
and
brand
at this
new.
Time it'll be
almost
like
10 years old.
Yeah. So I guess I like the idea of like remakes in Legends games have always felt like an opportunity to retcon and make sense of things that didn't make sense. But with a Legends Galar game, that implies to me that like that was created in unison. Like when they were creating mysteries in lore, right? The Darkest Day 1,000 years ago, all these Gigantamax, right? All this stuff. They left things unanswered in Sword and Shield. But it tells me that they were also thinking that they would soon solve those problems and give us answers to those questions that we've had. So there's this big, giant, consistent tapestry of lore. That's exciting, you know? Like, it's our job, the YouTuber, right? The theorist, to, like, make sense of what doesn't make sense. But, like, maybe GameFreak knows what they're doing, you know? Like, that's what's so exciting. That's what's so exciting.
They do. Most of the time, they do know what they're doing with that stuff.
Yeah. No, I know, but like we don't see the answer to it, you know?
Yeah, of course.
That's so exciting to me. That's so exciting.
So that we can have a good time.
Like I was in the Crown Tundra I was playing my Shield version.
You were in the literal Crown.
And that's my yes, I was in Scotland, but I went to the Crown Tundra because I was curious to see what was represented, and there were so many ruins, and I never really thought too much about them, but there's so many ruins in the Highlands. But my point is, I'm like, oh, maybe in their minds when they were developing, they actually had fleshed out ideas for what those ruins used to be. You know? Yeah. I'm very confident when Johto and Kanto and Hoenn are being created, they weren't thinking, oh, in 20 years we'll remake this, so we'll give the answers. Sure. They're just throwing stuff in there. You know? They're creating things. Yes, they have an idea in mind, but they're just throwing stuff in there, and then they're going to retcon it in the future. I don't know. It's just that consistent idea, the thought of that all these threads are very consistent and well thought out excites me. The Ruinous Quartet, right? We're all like, what the heck are they? They're so crazy. At this point, I'm convinced Game Freak has an entire plan for that, for the Ruinous Quartet.
It could be. It could be.
So anyway, okay. Sure. That's me screaming. We have a lot of super chats.
By the way,
I like that.
I just wanted to kind of shout this out because this was a while ago in the chat. But Mike was telling us, something was fake, so he sent me a link. And what it is the information about them saying we didn't give Xerneas any Veltal forms in ZA because we want to save it for an XY remake or another Legends game. That bit of information is fake because the way they know it is the text.
I wouldn't say it's 100% fake though. There's people saying it is. There's people saying that it isn't.
Okay.
I would say.
Well, the reason they're thinking it is because the Chinese character is used only in Korea and Taiwan and is not used in Japan, where they use kanji. I don't fully understand that, but just citing the source there. Just wanted to throw that out there.
They're Japanese that are writing this, so like there would be no reason for them to write something that they don't really use in their language.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's. I don't know. Some people are saying it's still real. So
yeah. But yeah, thanks, Mike, for letting us know that. Just wanted to revisit that, so everybody knew we figured it out.
Sure.
Just don't spam in the chat because that's how you got muted or whatever. I'm pretty sure. Like if you spam,
but we do
things,
appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. But if you spam things, that I think it's like an instant. Like you'll get like
timed out for a little bit.
Yeah,
so
timed
the
out.
Chat can kind of still go. Yeah.
But
we do appreciate it.
James Perot has been a member for 2 months. They say BDSP actually had an MMO feature, the Grand Underground, meeting tons of random players online. That's what the lobby area for Gen 10 would be like.
I know this
again,
isn't
just
what
one
you
of those
said,
through
James.
lines.
I know this isn't what you said, James, but I had a friend when I was in high school, and his name was James Parrott, and I'm 90% sure he spelled his name just like yours. And as far as I know, he didn't like Pokemon. But if that's you, buddy, Hi.
I got the meaning of the minds.
His name was literally James Parrott, and I'm pretty sure it was spelled exactly like
you?
that. So it's
Well,
just
it's
kind
Perot.
of every
It's
time I see you,
French.
I'm like, James Parrott?
No, it's
But
James
then I'm like,
Perot.
oh,
It's
James.
French
definitely
Canadian.
Is
Perot.
it? Okay, is it? Maybe it was. Yeah, it was probably like. Oh,
That's Lumi's hyperfixation on pirates.
but-
He's like, it's a parrot. It's a
Parrot.
parrot. Karmic Bonding.
Pirate?
Thank you for the super chat. They say people don't want new mechanics. Fresh experiences of the regular is what people want. Fresh experience. Oh yeah, people don't want new mechanics.
Yeah, I get that. I do.
Yeah.
I am very.
But
I don't know how to feel about Gen 10 right now. Like, I don't know how to feel about it. I'm excited, but I'm also like, dang, bro, what's gonna happen? What is happening?
I think the familiar is always gonna feel like nice. You know, like
Yeah.
Again, I sound like I feel like I'm getting insecure every time I mention my trip now. But when I was in Scotland,
It's fresh on your mind. What, you know.
like,
Well, also too, dude,
there were
don't,
a lot
don't
of
get
things.
insecure. It's so interesting. I love hearing about your trip. I honestly wish you'd talk more about it. If I'm real, I'm very interested.
Okay, well, yeah, we could just. I'll take over the stream. But when I was over there, it was really nice to see anything in the wild that reminded me of like New England, right? Like the mountains, right? The ocean, the seaweed. It's like the things that felt familiar were nice and comfortable, and it was a really cool way to like usher in all the things that were like new and unique and different. So yeah, I think it's like in human nature to want to continue experiencing whatever is familiar to you, and I can understand a frustration or a confusion or just like an apprehension to new things that are added, but like I don't know, man, this is like a very safe company. Like they're not going to abandon you. I think that's what I always remind myself. Like there is new things, but like they're not going to abandon you. The crazy ideas are going to be in Pokopia. The crazy ideas are going to be in Unite or a different title, right? So that's where I always fall on the line. Gendy, very generous super chat. Thank you so much. They say Gen 10 equals seed. Seed is a term used in the TCG for a first stage. Plus, Legendary Island can be uploaded and played with friends to experience different generations. Project Seed would be all Japanese region MMO. I feel like I'm a little bit confused by all those.
Yeah, I'm
the
reading
way
it
that was
myself, 'cause
worded.
Sometimes, Gen 10 equals seed. Okay, well, first off, yes, I don't know this, but Gendy's saying seed is a term used in TCG for a first stage. And so, the reason the legendary is called seed in the code name, is because I'm saying it's a legendary. It's not. The reason the procedurally generation Pokemon is called seed is because the emphasis is that it is a baby that will evolve. And then the Legendary Island can be uploaded and played with friends to experience different generations. Because, the idea is that if my world is a little bit different from Dusty's, maybe on Dusty's game it's a little bit harder to find Eevee. Dusty can hop over onto my world and catch it because I did something that allows Eevee to be really common here or something. And then right after that, Project Seed is the all Japanese region MMO. It is just interesting. I think that's kind of the connection you're drawing here, Gendy, that just Gen 10 is very focused on what is it, global play, connection. And that makes sense. That's very in line. If this is like the 30th anniversary generation, that makes sense. It's very in line with like Pokemon's, not morals, but Pokemon's like what they try to do, their themes, right? Like from the very beginning, link cables, battling, trading to collect more Pokemon and, see other Pokemon. So there's something kind of beautiful, I think, about that now they're like trying to take that aspect and actually apply it into the gameplay of their games and not just as a feature you can do.
Yeah. For me, it's like I struggle with it. Like if the whole region is like this, it's really tough. I like what Gendy said. I like that I think there'll be multiple islands that do this because so getting into it a little bit because we haven't yet, but the whole theme is like infinity, and so all the islands will change. Not all the islands, but some of the islands will change, and you'll have infinite amounts of islands that you can experience.
Which is that procedural generation,
right? And I'd hope that that's not for every island because I
don't think it would
somebody
be.
creating something that is special. Like I want to go into a region that exists, not just like the random island region.
But
you know what I mean?
Though I swear to God, the way that we like what gets so boring about modern Pokemon games is that you go into a route and it's just flat grass.
Yeah.
And I don't care at all about
Maybe
it.
the algorithm can make a better one than them.
No, it's not about the algorithm. Like again, like it's so vivid in my mind. I've played so many hours of Minecraft, but it's like every time you start a new place, you're in the middle of nowhere, you collect a couple resources, and everything that you do in the game is different because the biome that you generate in is a little bit unique. Like you could end up where you're right on the edge of a forest where there is water. You might end up in a forest where there's a mountainous region and there's jungle aspects. You might end up on the edge of a cliff face. Literally, it'll be like you'll be so high up and there's an ocean below, but then next to it is like a mountain that leads to a like the center of like a mountain range where there's like lava and like rare resources early in your game. Like the whole point of this that I'm imagining, like what could be so great is that every single, and again, I'm not talking about the actual towns that just like are permanently there, but like your experience playing a game could be infinite, as they say. It like, yeah, or it's just like every playthrough is unique in some way, right?
Right.
And
that's why
that
you
is
go to somebody else's
and that is
world
something
and
that we
experience it.
yeah sorry I'm just getting excited like
Oh, yeah.
that is what we already enjoy about a Pokemon game. Every single time you play a Pokemon game, it is unique because of what you find. You might find a shiny. You might get your starter with, like a certain nature, right? And there's all these like variables that show up, right? You might find the Ralts right in the beginning of your Hoenn playthrough, and you might not. It might take you forever to get that Pokemon, and then you're like, you know what? I'm just going to get a C-Dot, and I'm going to move on. Like every playthrough, you're going to have a unique team, et cetera, and that is meaningful. But I think they can extend that. Like, I guess I'm just saying, like, this procedural generation, this idea that every single time you go out into a route, it's a little bit different, and your game is entirely and meaningfully different from Lumi's play file to, to Mike Kesh's playthrough, right? To James Parrott's playthrough. Like, every single game file is unique. That is so special and at the heart of a Pokemon game, We're all on our own adventure.
As long as they keep some Pokemon in it, I'm good.
They will. They absolutely will. They
the
absolutely
Pokemon
will. I think they will.
I think too, we may, since it was like just said to have some MMO features, I think we also may, be overselling the extent that'll be like it. I think that the procedural generation in this game will be so minor, because just for one, it's their first time doing it.
Sure.
And
that's
usually
fair.
you see GameFreak take their baby steps, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like, there'll be like a set region, but then little details here and there that are relatively not. I mean, when I say minor, I think it'll be big in like conversation. People enjoy it, but it's not like, because they also don't want like me to think, well, I have a really crap region, and Dusty's got the coolest region I've ever seen. Mine sucks, So I think it'll be like really minor details. But I did also want to say, I just want to kind of spoil something. I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but I have a video. I've already recorded it, and I'm going to have to record a new intro now because this stuff's kind of interesting to it. But where I asked AI to predict Gen 10, and it straight up said, like, I think there will be like procedurally generated an island in the post game that's procedurally generated, and the idea is that every player's is different, so that you can hop to each other's islands and encourage exploration and global play. So I thought that was really neat. When I saw this, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool."
Cool.
Just,
tons of stuff.
Well, it's something that exists in other games,
but
it exists in other
happening
games.
In the industry. That's what's happening.
Yeah, but I thought it was funny too that like it said a sky island, not an island. But I still thought that was kind of cool,
the wind god.
The wind. Yeah.
All right, you guys are being so generous. We have to get through these super chats.
Thank you guys though.
Thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun. I was nervous to do the stream just because of how much stuff came out, and I'm feeling better.
Honestly, I was depressed, and I'm feeling a lot better talking to everybody.
Yeah, talking through it makes it seem less daunting. Mr. Dolphin says with a super chat, hated a lot about Scarlet and Violet, but the raids I had a lot of fun with. Would love an expansion on that and MMO elements going forward. Yeah, I think I'm not thinking about I'm not thinking about the MMO stuff so much, but like I guess we did see from the teraleak that in Legends Galar they were planning not a group raid system, but like a raid system with your own Pokemon. And you know what's kind of funny is like there was also, I think it was depicted like it's like you're fighting this like you're You're like in this. It's kind of like the Rogue Mega Battles, but you're like fighting a Gigantamax Colossal, and you've got like I think it's set up to 30 Pokemon on your team, and I just want to say the other, I guess that we've seen that before where it's like you have 30 Pokemon, and that was in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, where you would have all your Pokemon following behind you. It would always be the same Pokemon, but again, that's just more credence for Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee being like a prototype for like a Legends game. Like a lot of the ideas that we saw and that we're seeing in Legends games coming out and kind of originating from like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. But anyways, to answer your question or whatever, to comment on your super chat, I really think the raid systems are gonna continue to expand to be more interactive. Like it would be so cool if we could just like seamlessly like team up with our friends to do like real-time combat battles, you know?
Yeah, that's another thing too, is that I believe it was stated, we don't know if it's real time or turn-based, but it's I think a lot of this might be pointing to real time. I think I'm starting to switch to that camp now. But this also kind of goes to I was thinking about it yesterday, and we covered a supposed leak of Pokemon Champions, and one thing that it said that I feel like has kind of gained some credibility is they said like Champions, one of the reasons like they're switching player versus player on here is so they can start doing like some crazy stuff with their games.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like I'm seeing it, you know?
Yeah. No, 100%. This is another thing, Dusty, where I was like, you're vindicated, because I really think that whatever this battle system is in Gen 10 is going to be so different. One thing that Centro did not put in this list that was on the graph that he took this list from, the actual graph that leaked from the TerraLeak had all of these games, and it also, I think it had Pokopia as well, but I'm not sure.
It did.
So it had Pokopia, which is a big deal to them. It was actually in development a long time ago, apparently. And it had Champions at the bottom, and Champions line of like when it comes out and how long it's going to last for goes all the way to Gen 11. Like the entire line of Champions is there. Like it's here to stay, and it's part of their plans. It's part of this whole thing. So when you look at this thing from like a broader picture, it's like they're doing something crazy new in Gen 10, which is something we thought is possible, but we also were like, are they going to go away from like the classic stuff? So they're doing something new in Gen 10, like almost like a rebooting situation, and then they're keeping everything classic kind of more on Champions. And so that's just speculation. I'm not saying that's 100% true, but it seems that way, right? So yeah, props.
Yeah.
Continuing, we got Hardcore Casual Jazzy. Hope you're doing well. They've been a member for 2 months. Just wanted to say, can't wait to play ZA alongside the Pokey Homies. Plus, my GameStop is letting people pick up at 10 p.m. on the 15th. Pretty dope.
Ooh,
yeah, after this, I am gonna. I have to go to the bank. I'm gonna swing by GameStop and make sure I can actually get the game.
I need to ask if mine is doing that
tomorrow night.
I could actually play
at 10 p.m. That would be pretty cool.
At
man.
midnight, I'm just going to bed. I'm waking up early, but
right.
But yeah, at 10 p.m. I'm playing that. I'm playing it.
Yeah. Yep.
We got Karima. They super chatted. Thank you so much. They say, about to finish my first playthrough in Y with Greninja, Talonflame, Venusaur, Lucario, Tyrantrum, and Malamar. I was going to say, yeah, how cool would it be if, like, no matter what your team was in X and Y, you could, like, Mega Evolve them, you know? Like, it's disappointing we don't have Mega Tyrantrum. We don't have Mega Talonflame. That kind of bums me out when I think about it.
There's a lot that it pains me.
You know, there's a lot that I wanted and didn't get, but on the DLC list, there's also a lot that I hadn't even really let myself want because I didn't think it was going to happen that we're going to get. So
yeah,
I also want to say about that, since we're on this topic,
happy.
like you always want something to happen, but then you're like, but then there's nothing in the future. Like you cover things. Like I wanted Lantern so bad, right? But then it's like,
I'm sorry.
And I want Ledian so bad too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like, what if in Gen 10, Ledian and Lantern both get like evolutions? Like that would be really cool. but also at the same time, then they're kind of done for a little bit. Like,
Sure.
then so like all your favorite Pokemon that you want to get a Mega is like, it's fine if they don't, because eventually they'll get something. And
Yep.
yeah, it's like it's like limiting them. So it's fun to just get what you get. You know, it's fun to wish for what you want to. But...
I mean, and for what it's worth, man, you know, I talked about the like whole lantern thing. You know, I like thought that maybe it was happening because of this whole thing in Sycamore's lab. If you wanted to look too far into it, maybe that's a hint at something for Lantern and Gen 10.
It is. Absolutely.
Let's go.
It is.
I really think that Ledian and Lantern have huge chances to get evolutions in Gaia, because like, yo, it's like water and it's like tropical
And air.
It's
Sure.
tropical, flying.
They're wind
water,
and wave.
flying water. Please cut Johto game too. Let's go.
Gendy says, with the super chat, Legends games are meant for expansion of storylines aimed at gamers. Main games were focused to be accessible for younger ages. Yeah, I think that's correct. Yeah, it's just fun, dude. The Legends games are also just experimental. It's sick. They're playing with new stuff, dude. Playing with new fire. Thank you, Gendy. Kilometer,
Yes, thank you.
Kilometro Morales has super chatted, very generous. Thank you so much. They say Centro's timeline lists Gaia for fall 2026, but everything's been delayed a year. Do you think Gaia is actually pushed to 2027? That might explain the random blueberry filler arc in the anime right now.
That's actually something that we stated earlier, is that this is not the official timeline. The official timeline actually said Gaia for 2025. So yes, I do think you're right that it was pushed back a year.
Yeah.
Which would
It
put
was
it in 2026.
pushed back a year.
You know?
But this is the
this is
30th
an
anniversary. Plus what Lumi just said. If you put what Lumi just said and 30th anniversary together, you're like Gaia in 2026. Like,
yeah.
That's the thing. Now the rest of it, I don't know. The rest of it could be pushed back because everything else was pushed back. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Honestly,
yeah. Yeah. No, I did want to just kind of mention too, you know, I think I saw a document. That's why I'm treading carefully, because like, you know how sometimes you think you saw something and then you're starting to question yourself. I thought I saw, correct me if I'm wrong, Soul, I thought I saw a document saying that they have had a problem with changing their plans mid-development, and that they need to start sticking through with their initial plans.
Right.
And that kind of has me curious about how that ideal that they're pushing there will interact with the teraleak, right? Because this is a pretty good reason to change plans mid-development.
This is the ultimate reason to change plans.
But it's like, you know, they did just like say like, all right, guys, we need to stop changing plans. And then something happens. It's like, okay, guys, we got to change plans.
I think that's their ideal, is to not change plans as much, but this is an unprecedented leak that might make them, like, force them to change plans because of that. I do want to say, like, that is another topic that we didn't actually talk about, is them changing plans because of the leak, like, as a result of this leak. A lot of people are like, they'll never do it, they won't do it. I've heard they'll cancel things. I've heard, you know, like, this kind of stuff. Gen 10's pretty much safe. That's not changing. But anything after Gen 10, I would say, is definitely possible to be canceled because of this. And it would suck. The main reason I talked to a friend and they were like, is actually legal reasons with like copyright, that they haven't probably copyrighted everything that they've put out.
Oh, interesting.
Or like that they've done there. So like,
they'd have to be quick.
Exactly. It would come out and then anybody could take it and say that, hey, that's mine. You can't use it in your game. So yeah, they either have to copyright like now, like today, or they already did copyright it, possibly. Never know. Like maybe their stuff is already copyrighted in general because those are like their franchise, whatever features. It's not the right wordage, but whatever. So those are the main reasons that like something like Legends Galar could be gone and Seed could be gone. I mean, these are things that really sucks. But
see,
that's the other side of it.
The bright side that I would say to that is that the bright side of that downside is that you know,
they put money into it
GameFreak. Yeah, that does suck.
they have to like literally lose money to do that. So,
but GameFreak isn't gonna leave us hanging dry just because, you know, they want the money, right? You know, like I'm not even saying Game Freak cares about their fans and is gonna want them to have a game. No, I'm saying Game Freak wants money. They're gonna put out stuff. So like, if this is scrapped, we're gonna be surprised by something, and we have all this cool, what will then basically be beta stuff to talk about. Yep. So it's, you know, there's two sides of the coin, I guess.
Yeah, but for people like me, it really sucks if we lose Galar, and people like Dusty that really want the region Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh. You know, like I mean, I want it too, but I don't like. Legends Galar is way more exciting to me.
I mean, it can even be things like they just change direction, right? Like one thing we've kind of like talked about since Dusty got back from Scotland is like the idea of like setting Legends Galar in the Crown Tundra. You know, they could do like little tweaks like that. Like, okay, we said Legends Galar, it's 1,000 years ago. Dynamax Pokemon are a problem. You gotta build the first Gigaton Ball, whatever. And they go, okay,
love it.
Let's pivot. Let's instead, you know, because this stuff got leaked. We have a lot of like kind of stuff we've worked on already for Galar, but I think we can still translate this over to a different idea for a Legends Galar. That way it's still a surprise. You know, if there are copyright things, then maybe that's not anything to worry about. Stuff like that.
Yeah. It's up in the air.
It's
not as solid as we're thinking. But.
Yeah, I also don't really know if I don't think they're gonna change plans just because something got leaked. You know, it's like
that is
because the game is gonna sell probably regardless. You know, like it's maybe a bummer for them, but like it's if there's so many resources, people's jobs are to create these things. They're not just gonna scrap them because like 100,000 like psychopath Pokemon fans on Twitter like have seen things, like
I wouldn't even say 100,000. That's another thing is like
millions of people buy these games. Like I don't think it matters as much.
Exactly.
I think this is their audience are like little kids that like Pokemon, right? Like that's going to be a big part of who's buying the game. You know, no 7-year-old who loves Pikachu is going to be going like, Mother, I would like to get in 2 years the Legends Galar game that is planned. You see, it is set 1,000 years. No, that kid ain't even talking yet. All
right, we gotta hit some more of these super chats. Fright Night 15, thank you for the super chat. They say honestly, the most exciting leak is the fact that we're getting a new graphics engine for Gen 10 and evidence that all Mons will be getting a new game model. Listen, let's talk. We really should do a video. We will be doing some videos breaking down, breaking down a lot of the stuff that has shown up. It's really cool just to like review this stuff. I think it's really interesting. Again, the theme of today has been not everything that we see is going to end up in the main game, but it is cool. There's a lot of really cool
today
images.
Is procedural generation when you think about it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you for the super chat. Jason Borno also hit us with the super chat saying, so Galar, Poplio, Litten, Snivy? That could be another fun video if we're gonna get a Galar game. Yeah, like predicting kind of what the starters are gonna be. That honestly sounds pretty good. Sky King, how does plot work in a nebulous PG world? In a nebulous, I guess they're saying like, how does the plot work? Not everything is gonna be that. It's just like. That's just a tool. It's like a video game.
We don't know for sure, but yeah.
No, we don't. But I think the fear that maybe people have is they're like, are the Pokemon going to be made through with AI?
That is a fear.
And it's like, no, that's not what it is. It won't. It's just going to be something to like supplement the routes and to like increase how many. Like it already exists. When you go to a route and random Pokemon appear, that is procedural generation. When Pokemon appear, it's like there's a certain set of, at least that's how I understand it. There's a certain set of like things that can happen in that moment on that route, and that is, I guess, the way I'm understanding it is like, there's a random number that is, maybe it's not procedural generation, maybe it's just like number generation. That's probably maybe
it's like a very, very small scale of it.
But just random things appearing in order to keep the gameplay exciting. So that's how I'm imagining this game would be like implemented. But thank you for the super chat. Fright Night 15 hit us with another super chat. They say, wasn't it also leaked that Gen 10 will have multiple endings and thus you have the opportunity to beat the game early, but it's extremely difficult? I haven't heard of that.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, so they said that and again, giant asterisks here, this is all This is all from the proposal, right?
Yeah,
But
true,
they
good
said that they want it to be where you could hypothetically, you have to get the seed Pokemon in this game. Like you absolutely have to. That's the plan. Is you have to get the seed Pokemon. There's no getting around that. You don't have a choice. But once you get that seed Pokemon, traditionally in a Pokemon game, you then go beat all the gyms, do this, do that. Or you will have the option to get that seed Pokemon, go right to the boss battle, do it, and boom, you just beat the game.
It's like a Breath of the Wild, essentially. You could do that in Breath of the Wild.
They said that, there will be a true ending for, actually going, doing all the gyms and progressing the way, the story was intended, for lack of a better way to put it.
That is cool. I guess that does seem like a solution to everyone who wanted Scarlet and Violet's open world and their gym system to scale with the player. I guess this is kind of like the opposite of what we see in Scarlet and Violet, which is, everything is set
still,
no matter when you battle.
It's still actually it's still gyms may, but the boss battle won't scale to you. It will be really like they said, it will still be really difficult if you were to go straight for it. It'd be difficult.
Yeah.
But
not to scale down. I guess I was thinking
sure.
Yeah.
But this was kind of in Scarlet and Violet because, like you said, Dusty, you of course can challenge the gym leaders in any order despite their levels not scaling. But also too, you could not challenge any gym leaders and go into the Elite Four and take the test. They would fail you because you didn't do all the gyms, and that's part of. But you could go ahead and do that. Whereas before, traditionally in a Pokemon game, you'd try to make your way to the league, and there'd be NPCs who were like, "Today we're dancing."
Yeah,
for no reason.
We're dancing, bro.
That's an actual one. That's an actual one.
Dancing.
They use that. That is in Black and White 2, I believe. There are these people, and they say, "Today we're dancing. Tomorrow we might be gone for some reason."
Feely super chatted us, and they say, "Where do we think Pokemon Works fits into this?" I think we talked about it a little bit earlier, but it's everything this list that you're looking at right now on the screen is just GameFreak plans. So they would be working on, I guess, we don't know this. I guess I'm assuming that they would be working on stuff like a, quote unquote, faithful Gen 5 remake or a Gen 6 remake, just something a little bit more cookie cutter that might have some additional changes. That's what I'm assuming.
Pokemon Works is technically Game Freak. It's Game Freak and Ilka together.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. It is part of all of it, and Pokemon Works is definitely currently working on Champions. Champions is the biggest thing that they're working on.
Yeah.
Maybe they can work on a remake as well, but that's what they're doing right now. As far as we know.
Before we continue, I did want to Lumi. I'd love for you to. You kind of manage a lot of this, so I'd love for you to plug this for us. But we are doing another holiday card this year, another holiday gift that we'll be sending directly to you. This is a physical piece of media that we're creating, we're commissioning. It's going to be celebratory. It'll be themed. It's Pokemon related, and we're really excited. In past years, we've had art created. It's a very high quality, and it's pretty big. Collectible and holiday greeting card.
There.
Actually, do you have it right there? I can get mine. Mine's right over there.
I do, but you just get yours because I don't want the world to know that I am wearing pajama pants under this Hawaiian shirt. But
any good streamer should.
Right?
For real though,
But,
you gotta stay comfy. You
So
gotta
we
stay
got
comfy.
here's
I'm warm. It's cold in here.
This is last year's card. There's a beautiful illustration. It's got this matte finish. It's super smooth. And there's even a little note on the back, which is always fun to write a little note on the back. If you want to be eligible to receive one of these, if you sign up to be a member on YouTube or on Patreon at our second tier, Box Legendary. You can get one of these. Lumi, I think, will give you the specific legal details.
Legal.
Let's say legal. Why
not
not?
legal?
Okay,
not
so,
legal, but he'll give you the real.
So the thing
details.
is, we keep track of these starting on November 1st. Whoever's a Box Legendary member on November 1st. But what that means is because a membership lasts a month, if you sign up for a Box Legendary membership today, even if you don't renew it, which you should, because that's cool.
Yeah.
But you
lot of
will be a
perks.
Box Legendary member till November 14th, which means on November 1st, when I go in to keep track of who's a Box Legendary member, I will see your name and I'll put you right in. So yeah, just Box Legendary member sign up, start right now. If you don't want to right now, you're not comfortable, that's totally fine. If you sign up at any point in November, we'll still get you.
Yep.
I don't think we have a cutoff date set, but like all of November is probably safe, right, Dusty?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's currently under production, and also it's like you're getting a pretty good deal. You'd be signing up to specifically get this at that second tier, and it's not this. It's going to be new art with new artist, a whole new thing. I'm probably I lick every message, or every envelope. I gotta lick the envelope. I gotta fold it up. I handwrite your address.
You get some of Dusty's DNA,
and I usually slip in little Pokemon cards or stickers or whatever else we might have lying around.
Santa. He's a Pokemon Santa.
That's the first. That's the plug for this. But if you also sign up for this, you are just by default getting every other perk that any other Patreon member would get or YouTube channel member would get. That's access to every single one of our our bonus episodes that we release weekly. Secret Power.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole another hour of content every single week.
Just dropped one yesterday.
Yep, that you'd be getting access to. You will get access to the secret Discord. That's where all of our stuff happens. We've got battle leagues, we've got battle tournaments, we do movie nights. All of our discussions happen there. And when you can even join, if you happen to be in the Discord, you can even join in when we do a call-in show. So those are all just like the perks that we get that you're eligible for at the lowest tier. But that second tier, you also get a holiday card, which I'm excited to do. This has turned into a tradition here at Hidden Power. So this is the 2024 edition, but you get a new one coming right up. And there's we always have like all sorts of Easter eggs. This one from last year depicts the Kalos region fighting at night. You got all these cool Pokemon. There's a shiny, it's us, and then there's all these little Easter eggs in the background. You can really see. There's even a little Psyduck at the bottom for guess who. And super fun. And I'm excited to send out new ones this year.
Yeah. Also, Kilometro Morals said, question, is U.S. shipping only, or are you guys doing international shipping too? We do international. Dusty, is there any restrictions on that?
Not that I can think of. I think there are some countries. No. I think we tried to send a card out to Dr. Lava in China, and I don't know if he ever got it. Shipping gets a little weird around the holidays, so if anything is lost, we'll do our best to get it to you. Worst case scenario, we'll figure something out. We've sent them out in past years. The person never got them, and we've sent them out a second round, and then they'll get it. So we'll get it to you somehow. It's an envelope, right? And there's some stuff in it, but it's an envelope, so it's not. We should be able to ship anywhere.
Michael said, wasn't gonna do it, but want Dusty's link.
Yeah, listen.
He wants your DNA, Dusty.
Yeah, well,
you can. If for just $10 a month, you can clone your very own Dusty.
Yeah, it's good for cloning.
So just wanted to get that out there. We haven't actually, plugged that yet. So I just wanted to get that out there. We got a couple more super chats. We got, who is this? 4 Stacked Frogs is sending some frog emojis. Thank you so much for the super chat. And then they also sent.
What's your favorite animal? 4 Stacked Frogs.
Well, 4 Stacked Frog. Yeah, what is your favorite animal? But they sent another. They sent another super chat, and they said, I read in one leak that Omori is directing Gen 10, but another said he was barred from directing another game. Do you think he'll direct Generation 10? I have no idea. I didn't hear that.
I don't really love to get into like their personal things that they ended up going through. But there is a bunch of really not great stuff, and the only thing positive that I can take out of that is that Omori is probably done. He's probably done after Gen 10, which is kind of good. But at the same time, he's a person, he's a real human being, and it really sucks to read things about his job failing or whatever. I don't. Yeah. It's a very scummy side of this whole thing, and I don't even know why people post that stuff.
In defense of him too, I do distinctly remember there were some stuff that got leaked from part 1 of the teraleak that was personal inner workings at GameFreak, and that actually ended up being someone falsified it and sent it out.
Yeah, it wasn't real.
Like, because that's the thing is right now, especially if I were skilled, I'm not skilled. I don't know Japanese at all. But if I were skilled, I could make a little teraleak looking slide right now and throw it up. And, a lot of people would take it and run with it and go wild. And it's fact now,
Yeah.
But that's so, just take especially that kind of stuff with a grain of salt, because that seemed to be a common thing that people wanted to fake in the teraleak part 1.
Yeah.
Our last super chat is by Kilometro Morales. Thank you so much for all the support today, everyone. They say, are you guys happy with Indonesia, or were you hoping for somewhere else? My dream region is Latin America, maybe someday. And
I was hoping. Go for it.
No, what do you want to say?
I was hoping for Greece. I was really hoping for Greece, but upon looking at Indonesia more, and I think it's more than just Indonesia. It's also Malaysia, like Singapore, like that whole area.
Yeah, they said Southeast Asia. I noticed.
Right.
Not
but Indonesia.
They said Indonesia and Southeast Asia, I believe. Right.
Wait,
Indonesia is the right. So
I thought you said you knew it was Indonesia. Why would you be hoping for Greece?
Are we really going back?
I never said that.
You did at the beginning of the show. You said you knew it was Indonesia.
I know. So yes, there's a timeline there, but we won't discuss it. But the thing is that I really would have hoped that it was Greece. I love the idea. We talked about it multiple times on this podcast. Like, Greece is like the perfect place to like dig into mythology. And there was actually a little teraleak information about that. Like, Omori looked at all these different regions to pick for the Gen 10 region. He looked at Canada,
I saw those.
The upper islands probably of Canada, I would imagine.
That's like basically Quebec. Yeah.
Scandinavia.
That's basically New England. That's near Unova. Just saying.
Yeah. You would have liked it, probably.
Oh, I would have loved it.
A lot of people would have. Yeah.
Quebec is 3 hours from
you
me.
Probably. Yeah, I was about to say you probably have been to Canada at least a decent bit, being so close to it.
I would if I lived where you're at. Yeah. But yeah, we can do a deep dive into all these one day, because it's actually really intriguing. But yeah, Scandinavia.
Where will Gen 11 be? Yeah.
Yeah, Scandinavia was one, and Greece was one, and so was the west coast of America, I think, from the United States. I don't remember off the top of my head, but so Greece was one of the options, and he didn't pick it because there's not enough like animal variety. I'm like, bro, just go for the mythical stuff. Don't look at just the animals in Greece. Like, can we look at other things too? Like, so he gives his reasonings for each one, and I'm sure there's more, and I'm sure there's better reasons. But in the end, Indonesia for him was like way more diverse, I suppose, in fauna and animals. And I think it's great when you look at it. We haven't been to an Asian region in forever, and if you really start digging into it, there's a lot of culture and it's perfect for what they're going for. I'm super excited, and no matter what, it's a Pokemon region, right? It's a new Pokemon region. So
yeah, my stance on this is like, while I do think the real life inspirations that GameFreak will pull on to put into their Pokemon game, while I do think it can influence the final result, at the end of the day, I don't think it really matters where a game is based on. I think it's more exciting in concept than it is in practice. I think what actually matters is whatever Game Freak ends up creating, again, based on that inspiration. Like, I don't know. Like, I think the implementation actually is the most important thing. Because, again, as a fan, it's fun to be like, oh, it's this. But it's like, I play Unova and none of it feels like America. Not like it still feels like Sinnoh or whatever, like any other game.
That was a little hard to gauge, though, for me, because it was the first one they did outside of Japan, and it still had so much like Japanese vibes to it. I don't know. That's an interesting.
Yeah, well, and also there's I think
I think the real life point of inspiration can influence the final result. Like, you don't get Alola without Hawaii. Like, I get it, but I just think I look at Paldea and I'm like, does this really feel Spanish? Does this feel like Portugal?
There's some things.
And Soul, you've been saying all year that Legend ZA being like in Kalos doesn't feel like Paris.
It doesn't look like it.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
No, I do think you're right.
That's just poor design, but
that's what I'm saying. Like I think it's the implementation that matters. So
I do think you're right. I have some things though that like that kind of influence my stance on it, and that's that like it definitely is a Pokemonified version of the region, right? Like Galar is a very Pokemonified UK.
Yeah,
but
of
like
course.
that did feel overtly like British, and especially the Pokemon designs were so. I would personally make the argument more than any other region. They were like more true to the region than any other region.
Galar is that region. Yeah.
There is something really exciting to me about going, okay, Southeast Asia, Indonesia, mix of both, whatever. I go, guys, we haven't gotten a new Japan Dex or that's in Asia.
Yeah.
Since Sinnoh in 2008 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like or 2007. It is so exciting to me to go like, oh man, we're getting we're going back to Asia. We're gonna like. Because I think, the bagpipes that you hear in Galar, I'm thinking like that kind of stuff, like Asian, music, the kind of instruments they use and stuff. Like, I love that stuff. The architecture. Oh my God. I love like the architecture. Like I was looking at Indonesia and just kind of swiping on Google Images. And
we're
just
all
so beautiful.
now.
I'm really excited for it. I'm not remotely an expert. I haven't looked into anything about the flora, fauna, history, none of that. All I know is what the country, what parts of the country look like, right? And it's beautiful, and I do go, like, right there, that little tower that's right there on the thing you're looking at, Dusty. That architecture,
cool.
I love that. I love, I always, when I was younger, I wanted to be an architect. I ended up, changing what I wanted to be, but I still have always had a fascination for architecture. So I love, like, when places have their own feel based off the buildings. Because I do think that is something personally that's gotten a little stale since we, on Pokemon games, is that a lot of the times the cities can feel kind of bland. And so when you have places that have such a unique architectural design, I think you can really make some interesting cities. Because there's not a lot of interesting cities in Pokemon games anymore, in my opinion.
Yesterday when I pulled this, I literally just typed in Indonesia into Google, like whatever, and I saw this image yesterday, right? If we're thinking about an island hopping game that is like partially procedurally generated, like I look at this this landscape right here, that is apparently in Indonesia. I don't even know what it's called. But it's like all these like little island mounds that are just like appearing, and they look weird and they look random and clustered. And I don't know, like to me, I could see that showing up in a game and it constantly changing a little bit depending on, like this would be a route basically. And it's all a little bit different. And each of those islands are maybe holding unique Pokemon, rare items, and it's always a little bit different, Mm-hmm. Like I could see, like even these like where there's like water at the base, and then these giant like stones are jutting upwards. Like that also seems a little bit random. It's cool.
There's parts of this country that are so beautiful, like Bali. I mean, people go to Bali, like all the time, like the water and everything. So like, I mean, we should definitely deep dive into all of this. I mean, yeah, there's a lot. It's a good region in the end, and I do agree with you, Dusty. I really do about like it doesn't really matter that much because Pokemon's gonna make a good region. It depends what they make out of it, right? Yeah. But it's just fun for like, if it was Greece, what would be cool is them going into Greek mythology. And that's something that they could do. Yeah. They could do it in this too. That's why like Greece and Indonesia together. I was like, is this possible? But that would be fun. But it's also like. It's more of a chance that if they'd made a Greek region, they'd be doing Greek mythology stuff. You know? So that's what we lose a little bit. But
here's the thing:
we gain a whole other culture and stuff, and it's fun.
But again, like I feel like when you look at any region, we're always, and this is the YouTuber thing, and it's not bad. Like there's so many cool, imaginative regions and game concepts that like our friends have created, and that's all great. But I do think something that's always missed is that there are always like separate cultural references in the Pokemon that are introduced into a specific region. So like in the United States, in the New York City region, Unova, there is a legendary quartet based on the Three Musketeers, which is a French tale. Like in any game, like in Paldea, which is the Iberian landmass, right? That's what Paldea is based on. You have this quartet of creatures that are named very distinctly in a way that makes you assume that they're from a Chinese-inspired region. So
100%.
No matter where we go, I guess what I'm thinking is, okay, the game's in Indonesia, great. We could still see Greek gods, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. It's unlikely though. It to me, like, I agree with you 100%. I think Unova's a poor example though, because they really just didn't. This did not start happening that much until Gen 6, even 7, where they would like really dig into it. And then, so like, yes, in Paldea you have the Chinese Ruinous Quartet. You have other things too, like, you know, things from Egypt, which there is a connection. But then you also have, to the other point, you have like what's it called? The
starter
pig.
Pokemon are very
You have the pig.
Spanish. Yeah, you've got Lechonk, you've got Fuecoco,
Lechonk.
and Sprigatito.
Oinkalon. Like, those are really Spanish at the same time. So like,
absolutely,
it's just a mix.
absolutely, it is a mix. That's my point. It's a mix. It's like
unless it's Galar, then it's everything.
Yeah,
which is like, you don't know what they're gonna do. You don't
but
really
even
know.
but even Galar has like random Pokemon that aren't from that region. You know, at least
I guess there's
I'd
still
have
always
to
a
pick 'em out,
connection.
but
you know?
yeah,
there's always a connection.
Yeah, but you can make
Galar, at least.
yes, there is a connection, but I think you can make a connection with literally anything because people travel all over the world, you know? Like nothing is static. Like you could be like, I don't know, like not everything is just from like the last 100 years. It's like you literally can make a connection to anything. Like there's so many things in our daily lives that are inspired by cultures from across the world. That's how I'm looking at it, at least.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Believe me, I like that better, to be honest. Like, I like them mixing things. I always like getting Japanese Pokemon. Like low kicks. Locust is totally Japanese.
There it is.
So
that's all. That's all I'm saying. Like, so I'm like, while it is cool, I guess what I'm saying is like, while it's cool to want a Latin American region, if that's where you're from, like I want a New England region, that's great. But I'm like, you could still get, like, if I get a lobster Pokemon, a moose Pokemon, I'm hyped. I'm hyped. You know. We got another super chat. Sky King chimed in, and then we do gotta go. He's connecting some dots here. Sky King, thank you for the super chat. They say Galapagos, an island on the equator, Indonesia. Whoa.
Yeah, it's not a bad connection.
Ooh.
It's like a little bridge from Paldea to Gen 10 to Gaia region.
There it is.
You know.
Listen, there's a lot of comments, and there's so much to talk about. There really is so much to talk about. I think I do feel a little bit better after we just talked about a little bit of this. Like, we just talked about the timeline. I do feel a little bit better. I honestly think we could probably, this is all after, like, Legends EA comes out tomorrow, essentially. Legends EA is out tomorrow. We're going to buckle down, focus on ZA, but we will come back to a lot of this. And we might even live stream earlier if there's even more information. But I think we will come back to this. I think we will be doing videos on Gen 10. We will do videos on Legends Galar, on future Legends games. I think we can definitely do a video about a video game that encapsulates every single Japanese region. That is so cool. We could even do a whole podcast on Gen 11. So subscribe if you're new. Consider joining on Patreon or on YouTube. This show is independent. You guys directly fund us. So if you want to see this show continue to grow into the future, and if you want us to be around, put your money where your mouth is. Or what did I used to say? if you believe it, if you're invested in the show, invest in the show, please.
That's what you used to say.
For the love of Arceus. We need it. We need it. Dude, thank you guys so much for watching. We actually have one more super chat by Whale Lord. The implementation and direction of a location is most important. The most memorable thing about Unova to me are the themes, not that it's the U.S. Interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you so much, Whale Lord. Thank you to everyone who super chatted. And if you want to get access to, if you want us to send you mail, if you want us to send you a holiday gift in the coming months, sign up on Patreon or on YouTube as a supporter at the box legendary tier or higher. yeah, and if you want to keep listening to Hidden Power, we have a whole stream from yesterday, about 4 hours long, talking about all of the leaked mega evolutions for ZA. You can watch that. We also have an episode of Secret Power up right now from yesterday, available for members only. Thank you guys. We'll talk to you soon.
For Alligator Gang.
Meganium